You can't satirize Hollywood. I always tell people, if you want to know about Hollywood, everything you've heard is true. Every single thing. Every single thing, good or bad, is true. And whatever, like the worst, dumbest parody of Hollywood you've seen, yes, that is true. They are that dumb, they are that craven, they are that stupid, they're that backstabbing. And then there's great stuff too.
You don't know what you look like, Jordan Harper.
I don't know. Yeah, you look at yourself in the mirror, you look at yourself in a camera. I see two different things, you know? Like I'll look at myself in the mirror, I'll go, oh, this looks good. Then I'll take a selfie and I look like shit. And it's like, what the fuck is the difference? I guess, you know, I know there's the mirror image flip thing, but I don't know. I just feel like, so I don't know which one's true. I have no idea.
None of it's true.
None of it's true.
Well, this is all interpretations of brain signal, electrical signals to the jello in your skull.
That's absolutely correct. That's right. It's all approximations of images, and we're not really getting close to the real. We're just approximating it. We can never truly know it. And it's all an image that we project on ourselves from the first time we see ourselves in a mirror as a child, and we make up an idea of ourselves that we see, and we carry that lie draped on top of our meat for our whole lives until it dissipates and goes away, and then the meat rots. So, wrap.
Some of it rots while we're still going.
Yeah, that is true. That is, you get older and you learn that, yes, cheers. The rot occurs at different rates for different parts of you. For instance, right before we started rolling, got up to go to the bathroom, and I was in pain to get up to go to the bathroom. And I thought, probably 4 or 5 years since the first time I did this show. And I bet the first time I got up from this chair, I bet it didn't hurt. And now it does. And that's not going to go away.
No, it's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse until nothing hurts, because all pain stops eventually.
Hopefully. We don't know for sure.
Fair point.
And the way your brain experiences time, it could just be agony for what your experience is forever in the matter of moments.
That's true too. You could just totally detach from temporal sensation and just have there was that trend like maybe 5 or 6 years ago where they would take songs and slow them down 1,000%, and everything sounded like angels singing when you do that, it turns out. But it could be that, except for with pain, and it doesn't sound like angels singing. It really sucks. That was a good trend. People stopped doing that. I guess because they all sounded the same, so you heard it once. And
people got bored.
Yeah, because
people couldn't make money from it. And
that too. And if you can't make money off something, is it really worthwhile?
In America?
It turns out the answer is no.
No.
Oh,
you can't have hobbies in America. You can't do things for pure joy. You can only do things to feed the capitalist machine.
Well, what I love now is it's not even does it feed the capitalist machine, but it's does it feed one specific rich guy? Because people keep talking about the post office doesn't make money. It's like, well, first of all, it's not supposed to.
Right.
Second of all, it does make money. It just doesn't make money for the post office. It makes money for everybody who uses the post office, because the idea was we all pitch in together, help each other out. And then the world's a better place when some things are owned by society as a whole. And it's like they don't fucking understand that at fucking all.
Roads don't make money either. Well, some roads make money, but
right.
The majority of roads don't make money.
Roads don't make money. Rural electrification doesn't make money. Like that's something a lot of these people in red states don't realize is, they made a choice to run electrical wires out to farms as like a common good, not because it makes financial sense for them to run, all of these cables out to these farms. That's just being done out of the goodness of everybody's heart. And I don't think those people realize that. And again, not like to pick on rural people. I'm from the Ozarks, but it's like, come fucking figure it out, guys.
Well, it's because it was always there for them, for the current generation.
Yes.
They weren't there pre-electricity. So this is how life's always been. What do you mean they did this thing to help us out?
No, we live in this eternal now, which is not the same thing as living in the moment in some kind of spiritual way, because that suggests some kind of peace and harmony with existence. This is just the now of a rabbit that's being chased. It's just we all live in that kind of now.
Constant fight or flight.
Yeah. And it means that the people cannot articulate a vision of the future, and they can't be bothered to figure out what happened even 20 years ago when they were still alive. What are you bringing up old shit for? But they take that position about the world. It's fucking wild.
To be fair, I can't figure out where we're going to be in 5 years either.
Well, no. I'm just saying you can't even imagine. Well, no, I can't either. We are entering into one of those things, where math stops making sense, where it's just, oh, no, we can't predict.
I mean, hell, predict February 25th, 2020 to February 25th, 2025.
Yeah. Right. Just, oh, by the way, stock up on masks and canned goods.
Toilet paper, apparently, for the first couple weeks there.
Oh, yeah, that shit was wild, literally. Sorry, that was terrible. But
He's a
no,
writer, folks.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. My partner Megan and I, because there was that period of time where we were like, she was washing all of our groceries, and I just remember eating something and tasting like not just like hand soap, but some kind of like real bleach or soap that she had used on it. And I was like, this is going to kill us as much as COVID will. We need to like chill out on this. But also, that was when we were like going to the grocery store. Do you remember when they had like the grocery stores had one-way aisles?
Yep.
And I just remember holding my breath when I would walk by somebody and just like, oh, hope I don't get it. And yeah, and because who fucking knew? We were all, it was crazy time with that. So we've all just decided, let's never talk about it again.
Oh yeah. The internet is also very much decided. That is probably, this brief conversation is probably demonetization.
Well, all right then. What is monetization? Where's the money roll in the algorithms?
Well, I'm sure talking about celebrity gossip.
Celebrity gossip, yeah. Justin Baldoni, all that stuff.
I'm sure that is. That's exhausting.
I'm fascinated with it. But, you know, my last book was about a crisis PR manager. So, like, I've had a lot of people call me, and I've done some like, I did the Motley Fool podcast because they wanted to talk about black bag PR or crisis management. I do find it really fascinating. And this story is fascinating to me, among the other things, but it's a really good lesson that you do not go to war with somebody who has more guns than you, because that's what Justin Baldoni did. He's like, you know, the old phrase is never pick a fight with somebody who buys ink by the barrel.
Right.
You know, and maybe one of the richest women in Hollywood who's married to one of the richest men in Hollywood is not the person you choose to get into a PR fight with.
Oh, definitely not. And the concept of black bag PR actually interests me. This actual story,
yeah,
not as much.
Yeah. No, that's the part that I get into. Yeah. And so again, like the details. I mean, I'm sure he's a piece of shit. Also, any guy who accepts an award for being a good feminist is not one, which is very different than being a good. I'm not putting down like I'm a feminist. It's totally cool. I'm saying guys who like take awards for it. That's like don't do that.
I don't feel the need that I have to classify myself as X, Y, and Z. Like, no. I have my beliefs. I don't want to be narrowly like, oh, you're a male feminist. No. I believe that, you know, women are equal people. Oh my God. Like, I don't need a classification for it. I don't need a label. I don't need a acknowledgement. Like, hey, you did basic human decency.
Well, also that's sort of what I'm saying. The values are good. It's again, this guy who took an award that could have gone to a woman, surely. But he's like taking the award for being good about women. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's the need for the acclaim that is the alarm bell, you know?
But isn't that most of Hollywood? Isn't most of Hollywood there for the need for the acclaim?
No, they're there for the need for the money. And then the acclaim is what they pile on top of that because they thought the money would fill the hole, and it doesn't fill the hole. So they try acclaim next, and that doesn't fill the hole. And then they just spiral into just deep monstrousness because they keep on shoveling stuff into a bottomless pit, and they can't figure it out. It's the same with like, I did a lot of psychedelics when I was young. I'm a big believer, and they're very fun, and I do think you can learn things about life from taking psychedelics. But one thing I know is it is not a miracle cure, because look at all the fucking assholes who've done ayahuasca trips, and they talk about how it changed their life, and they go home and nothing changes. Like it's just right there. I'm writing my new book. I'm hoping to be finished within 10 days. I told my editor today, 10 days. And I just wrote a scene where, you know, this guy is interviewing a guy outside of a temple in Malibu, where inside are all these people drinking ayahuasca and just purging, you know, but they're all like, they're sweeping around. I had somebody tell me a story about one of their showrunners they worked for, who's a real monster, who would go to these things in Malibu where they would do chores for 2 days. And they would like sweep, you know, and they would make their own beds, and they would talk about how fulfilling it was and how it helped them center themselves. And they would go home where they have servants, and they did not fire their servants. You know, they didn't. Also, they might have noticed that their servants aren't walking around like monks because they do all the chores. Like, it's not doing chores that make you a good person. Doing your own chores is a good thing to do, but it's not going to lead to, you know, enlightenment.
No, definitely not. It's like, you didn't have to spend all that money to go to a retreat to do chores. You got chores at home.
Yeah, exactly. But that wouldn't count because they don't get to go, you know, to Malibu, and they don't get to put on the little robe, and they don't get to think of it as a little outing, a little adventure.
Well, and other people, patting them on the back, like,
yes.
oh, you're doing so well.
No, for sure. And that is
their chores because no one thanks you for them.
Yes. No, exactly. Like we use it's the word chore. We don't mean it's not something you read in the Bible a lot. It's just like it's drudgery. It's just, you get up and you make your bed and you go on with life. But it's not, there's nothing to learn from it, but it's just terrifying to think about the people who think there is something to learn from it, act like they learned something from it, and then go back to their lives, and again, like I will take psychedelics again in my life, but I just don't expect it to like change me as a person in some profound way, especially after the first couple times you do it. There really is something the first time, I think.
Well, I agree. Though I very recently had probably one of the most heaviest trips I've ever had in my life, like on my birthday, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I did 6 grams of mushrooms, and apparently I had let my intolerance slide because I'd done 6 grams before, and it was an intense trip, but this was
a heroic dose.
Yeah, this was actually heroic because I hadn't done shrooms in months, and I was like, oh, I can do 6 grams, it'll be fine. And then point sort of like, do I ever come back from this? Like just on the couch, like, I'm not sure I'm coming back from this.
I have never, like when Cary Grant later in life got very into LSD, and he did it, but he only did it in a therapeutic setting. He did it with a psychiatrist with him the entire time. And I would love to do that. Not with some guy named Shaman Dennis, but with like a trained psychotherapist with like papers framed on the walls who made that their mission. I would do that in a heartbeat.
John Hopkins does that shit.
Do they?
Yeah, they've been using psilocybin to treat PTSD in soldiers and shit like that.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. But I don't, I might have PTSD to be totally honest because I worked in Hollywood for 15 years. But like,
I'm sure you could make a case for it.
I'm sure I could.
You need me to throw some things at you so you feel comfortable?
Yeah, slam some keyboards. Tell me this is shit, mate. See, I just channeled because I did do a little flashback. I was a very specific actor, and if you look at my IMDb, figure out who's from Australia, you can figure out who I was just imitating it. But like, yeah, but I would love to do that. If there's a pilot program for psychedelics in Los Angeles for TV writers, sign me up because I would do it, but with like a person who would be there to talk to you. Yeah. And again, not Shaman Dennis, but like a trained pro. I mean, we've also all been the other person. I remember splitting a bag of shrooms with my college girlfriend and then finding her pantsless at the bottom of a staircase. And she's like, I'm dead. And that seems like an argument you should be able to win, But I was, I don't think you are. So again, I wasn't really the guy to fix that problem either. But like, but if we had a psychotherapist there, apparently it worked for Cary Grant. I don't know.
Yeah. I think you just have to be a more successful writer and you can just start your own program.
That's true.
That's the nonprofit you start when you become very rich.
Yes. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, I figured out. I was working in Portland for a while, and I lived around the corner from a repertory movie theater where they just played old movies. And we have stuff like that here. I live close to Vidiot's, which is awesome. But this place was kind of a little ramshackle. It was only run by like 3 people. And I did learn that's what I want to do. Like if I get really rich and decide to retire, just run a little movie theater, play movies I like, and like break even if I can.
I don't think you have to be really rich to pull that off. There's plenty of people that are not really rich doing that.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I'd also like to be rich.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I don't really want, that's the other thing Hollywood teaches you is like, there's like have enough money that your life is cool. And then there is rich and this is bullshit and you don't want it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, hell, there's many studies that show that like after your basic necessities are met, there's a diminishing return on how much money you make versus your happiness.
Oh yeah. And I do think there's I think his name is Paracelsus. I might be getting that name wrong, but he was the father of modern pharmacology, had a saying, which is the poison's in the dose, which is anything can be a poison or nothing is a poison. If you take one little micro of cyanide, you won't die. You have to take a certain amount. And if you drink enough water, it will desalinate your blood and you will die. Like, so the poison's in the dose. And there's definitely people with money poisoning in this world. Like,
oh yeah, a lot.
Oh yeah, a lot. And I have met a lot of them, and it scares you off of ever wanting like 70, $80 million. Because I've met those people and they are not happy.
Well, obviously. Also, I've talked about this on here before, but when you have that kind of money, who do you trust?
Who do you trust? You can't trust anybody who met you after you made that money. You won't, for the rest of your life, you won't trust them.
But also, can you trust people that didn't make as much money as you that you knew beforehand too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true too. Especially if they might need stuff, if they're not like people you're super close to. And yeah, it's the same thing with like famous people. You meet famous people, and I have now met enough that the bloom is off the rose. Like, I mean, hey, cool. That's neat. But like, you get over it in like 5 minutes. But you can feel that feeling they had because so many people want something from them. And they have such a hard time believing that like you don't, and I typically don't when I meet them. But you can feel that distrust, that they're waiting for you to hand them your screenplay. They're waiting for you to like even just ask for a selfie, like, which is not the worst thing in the world. But
I time and a place, like
yes,
100% time and a place. Like if they're at some fan event, sure, but I've run into multiple celebrities in my local Gelsons.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother them. I'm not gonna even say a word to them. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, you might do the nod. Sometimes you do like the little.
I've done the nod. The one that was the most embarrassing for me was I saw Aaron Paul at Griffith Park. Like I was parked in my car, and I waved at him like he was my friend because I just was like, "Hey, that's my buddy." And as he waved back, and then when we walked by, I'm like, "That's Aaron Paul." I do not know Aaron Paul. I think I had just been watching Westworld a lot.
Right. And it's just instinct of like, hey, there's that guy. I know that guy.
Hey, what's up, man? that was the extent of it.
I first came to LA. I think I was 17 years old with my family. We were staying up on the Sunset Strip, and the Reverend Horton Heat was playing at a venue down the street. And at that time in my life, I loved the Reverend Horton Heat. And I realized my parents had booked us in this hotel, and there was like my entire family. So we had like 3 hotel rooms because I have a lot of brothers and sisters. And then the Reverend Horton Heat and his band were the other people on our hotel floor. And I was really excited. I couldn't get into the show because it was not an all ages show. And then I see the Reverend Horton Heat come out of the elevator with like a young woman. And he's walking to his hotel room. And I chose that moment to like, oh man, I'm such a big fan. I sure would like to go to the show. And he was just like taking a woman back to his hotel room. He like was not interested at all. And that is, when you talk about true like cringe feeling, I think about me really trying to stretch out this moment while this woman is just looking at me like, you're the biggest goon on the planet. I'm trying to fuck the Reverend Horton Heat.
Right.
Which is her business.
Oh, and I'm sure she is not the first or last.
Or last. No, because this was a long time ago. So
mid-90s?
Yeah. Mid-90s. So, I mean, yeah, the era when probably the Reverend Horton Heat was doing the best he was going to do in that department. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Because, that's the thing about success in any artistic endeavor is skill and talent and all that is really important. Hard work's really important. And some of it's just dumb luck because there were eras when being a rockabilly dude could get you a living in this world. And there are eras when it can't. And he just happened to luck into one of the times where there was a market for the Reverend Horton Heat. If there's a young guy right now who's just like the Reverend Horton Heat trying to get it started, it's not going to happen.
No. He's probably going to play some weird punk festivals, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that'll do. And
that's what the Rev is playing these days, too.
Probably, right?
Oh, no, he definitely is. I saw him, well, geez, it's got to be 8 years ago. It was the last time I saw him play out, and he was playing like some Long Beach punk rock festival.
I mean, I think I saw the Reverend Horton Heat play 5-6 times throughout like that late 90s, early 2000s era. And by the 6th time I saw him, I was like, okay, I get it. I get what you do. And that was sort of it. I mean, no offense, but like he wasn't like somebody who was going to do like an extended jam on this one or like he was going to, blow you away. He was a very talented performer, but he did what he did. And I got it now. I'm good.
Did you see him with White Zombie and the Melvins?
No, that's a good show. That was like a good show.
That was the first show I ever went to.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Aragon Ballroom, Chicago.
Ah.
White Zombie headlining. Rev was in the middle spot. The Melvins opened.
Ooh, that is good.
It was, except because it's a bunch of metalheads in the middle of the 90s, the Rev almost got booed off stage.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, because he kind of, he doesn't really fit in with those two bands completely. Yeah. That's tough.
Because this is Astro Creep 2000 tour.
Uh-huh.
And it's like the height of White Zombie.
Sure.
And the Melvins were just weird enough that the audience was digging it. But there was generally more energy for Enter Sandman being pumped over the PA than Rev set.
Rev set. I could see that. My first show, I was 15. I saw the Dead Milkmen with this band called Possum Dixon opening.
Okay.
Yeah, and, that's a solid. It's Dead Milkmen were a fun little band.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And good, especially when you're 15.
Punk rock girl.
Punk Rock Girl. They played it, but last, and you could tell they didn't like playing it anymore. But hey, you got to give the people what they paid for.
Exactly.
That's the gig. That is the gig.
There's such like insane lineups in those days, and it's just like you could go to those shows for like $10.
And we used to go all the time, and this is not just a function of us aging. This is the culture has completely shifted. That like I would go to 2 or 3 shows a week. Oftentimes, and yeah, $10. I remember not going to see Johnny Cash because the ticket was $50, and I was like, I'm sorry, like Johnny Cash is great, but that's an insulting amount to pay to see a concert. And then he died like 3 or 4 years later. I was like, I'm an idiot. And also now all concerts are $250.
Yeah, I actually don't think I've been to a show since the world reopened. Like the last show I went to was the 25th anniversary of Machine Head's "Burn My Eyes" down in Anaheim, like February 2020 was the last show I went to.
All right, yeah. Now I've been to a few because I said, who Ethel Cain is?
No.
Oh, Ethel Cain is great. She's sort of like a redneck trans girl from Florida who kind of sings these like ballady songs, but she's like all tatted up and kind of dresses like a church lady and writes these very great songs. And I went to Hollywood Forever in the Masonic Lodge, which is a great place to see a show. And it was great because I had fully graduated to the guy in the back of the room. She's queer, and so the audience was full of these like 20-year-old, non-binary or totally gendered out in some way that I'm too old to understand. But it was so good to go like, oh, the kids are all right, and I'm not a part of this in a way that is totally fine. Because I didn't stand in the back of the room at the beginning of the show, and then I looked around me, I was like, oh, I need to go back. Not a big deal, like.
Was someone looking to see if you were escorting your kid to the show?
I mean, I'm sure that I am probably old enough to be at least some of the kids' parent, dad, who was there.
For sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I don't need that vibe. So I just, okay, I'll go stand in the back. This is cool. And I had a good time. But no, I don't. I used to be a music writer professionally. And,
I know.
We've talked about that. And that era, I filled my dance card pretty well during that era. So I also got I saw Ween at the Greek a couple of years ago. Like I have the like logo tattooed on me. They're a big one for me. But yeah, the like just, somebody's coming to town, I'm going to pop in. Or I used to go to see shows not knowing who the bands were.
Oh, I've definitely done that. Like, small bar, mid-sized bar shows in Chicago. I was just like, oh yeah, it's just, it's Thursday night. There's a live band here. I'm going to just see what's going on. Yeah,
that is. I know that there are still shows, and Zebulon runs all the time, but the age of especially being sober is like,
Yeah, wouldn't want to do that sober.
No.
Sometimes you got to drink your way through the set.
Yes. No, and for me personally, I've totally replaced it with going to movie theaters that show old movies. Like that is like the thing that I do as like my hobby now. And I didn't used to think of it as a hobby, but then I noticed how often I was doing it and that I was like, scrolling American Cinematheque to see what was playing and like buying tickets all the time. And I was, oh, no, this is a hobby now. Like watching a movie, again, didn't used to feel like a hobby, but that is what going to a show was for me in my 20s is now. I went and saw last night. I was at Los Feliz 3. I saw Looking for Mrs. Goodbar, or Mr. Goodbar, I'm sorry. Diane Keaton, 1970s.
Nice.
It's it's really weird. It's really dark. She is a school teacher, and it's like the dawn of the sexual revolution. It's a little bit of the movie kind of came off feeling a little conservative because she like gets into this world of like loose drugs and sex. And I guess this is a spoiler, but the movie's older than me. And then she's murdered at the end of it, basically for taking the wrong guy home.
I mean, that's very neo-noir.
Yeah. I mean,
hell, all the old noirs are like crime doesn't pay.
Yeah, no, and this treats the fucking people as sort of the crime that doesn't pay. So it kind of, I liked it, but Tom Berenger's the guy who kills her, and
as he does,
yeah, and so it was good, but it was a sold out show, and again, it had that kind of same feeling. Again, not that people were like rocking and cheering, but like that was the thing I learned during the pandemic that I missed. Like I didn't really miss restaurants the way I thought I would, but I did miss being in movie theaters. And so since then, that has been like the thing that has replaced, like that's my socialization, I think now.
I'm there with you. I wish I had more time to do it because I love the New Bev. Love the New Bev.
New Bev is great. The Vista, if you've been to it since Tarantino.
I haven't been back there since Tarantino reopened it.
My buddy Travis said this before I did, but you could drive a Honda Fit through the aisles now. Like you can stick your legs all the way out and somebody can walk past you. It's beautiful. And the theater is gorgeous, and you can get a hot dog or a White Castle burger. Like it's really good there. That place is great. I live next to Vidiot's, or not next to it, 5-minute walk from Vidiot's, so that's the one I go to the most. And again, it's go see Heat, go see Scarface.
Oh, I've seen Heat on big screen a couple times.
Yeah,
I love it, love it, love it, love it. Like they did a screening at the Bruin for the re-release of like the remastered cut.
Yeah,
geez, like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got on the list for that. I was just so excited. Like, that is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it's incredible. I love that movie. My buddy Blake I met him actually by doing a podcast that he started doing where he did an episode for every single minute of Heat. And so when you came on, he would tell you what minute of Heat to watch, and you would come on, and he did it in order. And you would come on and you would watch that 1 minute, and then you would talk about it for an hour. And that's why Heat's a great movie. Is I did 3 or 4 episodes. I never had a problem talking for an hour about any given minute of Heat, because there's just so much going on, so much to say. It's such a good movie.
What are your thoughts on the sequel?
The book, I was not able to finish that book, if we're being totally honest. I have heard if you're going to do it, do the audio book, because apparently the guy does pretty good, like De Niro, or it's not De Niro, but Pacino and the other people. But that also just wasn't. Did you watch that movie and go, well, what happened next? Like, no, that's the end of the story.
Right. Like, even if they had written it where Neil McCauley got away.
Yeah.
Like, either one.
There's
nothing that needed to be said about that. If Neil McCauley, honestly, I feel like Neil McCauley's gun shouldn't have he should have plugged Pacino and just gotten down the flight and.
Yeah, but
there's multiple Michael Mann movies that I feel like the quote antagonist should have won.
Yeah, no.
Collateral, I love Collateral so much, except the ending for the same reason.
Yeah, I hear you about that. That one's on my favorite. Other than Heat. I love. He's not my favorite filmmaker. That was David Lynch, but I don't know. Maybe I like Mann more. It's a tough call, but I love Heat. I love Manhunter. I love Thief. And I love Miami Vice. It is so goofy and cheesy, but I love that it's goofy and cheesy. I love that it goes for those big operatic things. I love that he uses Moby in a way that doesn't make me angry. But by the way, the end of Heat is Moby too. Yeah, when he's holding them, the whole end of the movie, that's Moby. Like Michael Mann is able to make stuff like that. He did it with Phil Collins with Miami Vice, In the Air Tonight. He was the guy who made that song famous by when they.
Mike Tyson did that.
But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of movies too, like there. I don't know if there's a word for it, but where the villain is clearly the good guy because they believe something that is like politically radical, but is correct, and so they have to make that person a psychopath so that we don't root for the person who's clearly correct. Black Panther was like that with Killmonger. Like that guy was correct. He was like
the British Museum stole a lot of shit.
Yes. And the CIA it was complicit in horrible crimes in Africa. And so he was totally right about everything. So they had to have him kill a woman just to show.
I honestly feel like Killmonger was a stand-in for Ryan Coogler's actual point of view on some things.
Yes. And then he had to tuck it.
Disney's like, no.
I just talk about Michael Mann. You're talking a movie where the villain should have won. Last of the Mohicans. Magua, all he wants to do is get revenge on the guy who killed his entire family. Yeah. And we're told he's the bad guy because he wants to kill the 2 women who are the guy's daughter. But it's like, John Wick had a dog killed. He killed 900 people. And he's the hero, but Magua, because he's like an Indian, we can't,
Because they dehumanized him.
Yeah. I love the end of that movie, even though he should win, but he doesn't. But the end of that movie is a masterpiece. But there's a lot of movies like that. There's that Planet of the Apes movie where they have the one who's been tortured. I can't remember his name, but he's like, they've discovered that humanity is coming back. And he's like, we got to wipe out humanity. And we're supposed to think that guy's the villain. He was raised in a lab. He was tortured. They did science experiments on him. And he's like, no. They're learning how to get electricity back on. We have to kill them before they do that. Well, that's completely, if you are an animal, that is completely correct that you should kill all the humans.
Well, that's completely correct if you flip the script there. If us as humanity, if there was an invasive species, any invasive species, like, oh shit, they're about to wipe us out. Do you think anyone would bat an eye about it making them extinct? They wouldn't call it genocide. They would just be like, we had to make them extinct.
Yeah. Well, because again, it's like, if you can't be like, well, it turns out, there are some bad people, but there's some good people too. You don't say that about the species that is, yes, if the aliens landed and they were vaporizing everybody, but you found out that they occasionally loved each other, you wouldn't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care they love each other. They're wiping out humanity. So like the ape is correct. How could you, if you were an ape who'd been tortured in a science lab, well.
You don't even need that justification.
Well, that's
literally,
true too.
These things are coming for our entire species.
Yes.
They are going to wipe us out. It is us versus them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need the added justification of like, well, they were dicks to me personally.
I'm just saying he has the context to go, well, they're not killing us now, but they will, because he has met them before and he has seen what they do. And it's just like, anyway, you could do that for so many different movies, just because, eventually the message of all Hollywood movies, not all, but right now it feels like all, has to be, there's some problems in life, but like, we're going to figure it out. We just need to get some good people on the job. And that's sort of the whole message.
I wonder if on a complete sidebar, I wonder if there's a podcast where like the whole podcast is the villain was right.
There should be. There was, like I said, my friend Blake, who's done a lot of podcasts on Michael Mann, when we talked about it, like he had t-shirts made that said Magua was right. And because Magua was right.
He was.
Yeah. And
completely justified.
Yeah, completely justified. Well, he shouldn't kill the guy's daughters. Well, why not? They killed his daughters.
Right, they killed his whole fucking family.
By the way, they are committing genocide, and they're going to keep committing genocide, and maybe that's worse than killing Madeline Stowe. I mean...
Madeline Stowe was,
Yeah. For sure. Also, that guy, I can't remember the actor's name who played Magua, great. Just fantastic actor.
I can Google such things.
Oh, yes. Well, because he was a cop in Heat. All my film nerd friends would be mad at me for not remembering his name, but
Wes Studi.
That's right. Hell of a man, that guy.
Hell yeah. But just, I hate, I'm not upset at just a happy ending, but I'm upset when it's an unnecessary happy ending. I get a lot, we were talking off mic, like I read reviews of my work, but I don't read bad reviews. But every once in a while I'll stumble across one. And a lot of the people don't like my books because they don't have happy endings most of the time, or at least not what feels like a traditional Hollywood happy ending. And I read one the other day where this woman was like, I love this book, but I hated the ending because it wasn't happy. And then I started to think, maybe all stories don't need a happy ending. Maybe sometimes it's like more honest and good to have a sad ending. And I was like very happy she had the realization, but I was also like, you still have 1 star.
Well, no, she actually did give it more stars than that. But
okay,
it was, but I was just reading it going, have you not encountered an unhappy ending before in your life? Like, is this the first work of art you have engaged with that didn't have a happy ending? Because like, lady, like there's a lot of great work that doesn't have a happy ending. And I like movies with happy endings, but like you're saying, if it's earned, if that's the right thing. And sometimes with neo-noir, we're trying to make a point about the world we live in, and to give it a happy ending would be to rob the book of that point.
Right. It's dishonest.
And it's not in concurrence with the world, and we are living in an era right now. I see it in publishing. I see it in Hollywood. Way worse in Hollywood than publishing, but it's bad in publishing too, where the people who are running things have such a low opinion of the audience. And the audience is leaning into that through allowing their kind of attention to go to the worst things. But these studios got to figure out how to monetize quality, because the best work happens when you figure out, sure, you make the slop. McDonald's on every corner. You can do that as long as you can also have a good restaurant on every 5th block or something. But you got to figure out how to do both. And
you got to figure out how to do both, but you also have to figure out to convince people that like, oh, it's worth your time to consume that stuff instead of the easy digestible bullshit.
I really think, there's some things that started off on the internet with like good intentions, like don't yuck somebody's yum. Everybody needs their comfort food. Everybody's tastes are equal or valid. And it's like, everybody has their dumb shit they watch. Everybody has their, I can sometimes be too dumb for subtitles if I'm really tired. But like, you kind of have to, it's up to you to decide where that line is, but you got to find your line, and then you just got to press against it. Because if you don't, you'll forget how to chew food. I mean, genuinely, like these people, I think there's a lot of people right now who are forgetting how to chew. anything artistic that is challenging or difficult in any way.
Oh, I agree. But also, do we as creators want to create stuff that is easily digestible? Because the world at large is hard and kind of shitty right now. Do you really want to give them something challenging, or do you just want to give them a distraction?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. I think partly that comes to what you're capable of doing. What I've learned in my work is like, I don't think my work is difficult the way that like, James Joyce is difficult. Like, and I think that is a very hard thing to do. But I do think, again, I try and push. I try and do both things. I try and be really entertaining and I try and be really, really fucking good at the same time. Because I don't think you have to throw one out for the other. All my favorite artists are people who kind of walk that line, whether it's Michael Mann or David Lynch or James Ellroy. I mean, these people who are doing really deep and interesting things. And, like Lynch has like Inland Empire that really does go off onto the 10th dimension. And that's not for everybody. But, Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks, there are things that can push both those lines. And I have learned I am not interested in just churning out distractions. Like that's not what I'm looking to do,
God bless on that.
Yeah.
God bless on that. But it's also, you got to decide when you're making commercial content.
Yes.
Are you doing it more for your artistic vision, or are you doing it more for the payday?
Well, and I have definitely chosen the hardest path, which is trying to do both simultaneously. And, that's why I tend to tell people when I talk to younger people, like, you kind of don't be me, like pick a lane, either get another job, like a job that has nothing to do with your creative ambitions, and then make the weirdest fucking shit you make, or, try to just really go into that other line. But I've learned myself, I am not, like, I had a day job on The Mentalist, which was that to the extreme. Like, it was a hugely internationally massive show, and I had fun working on it, but I wouldn't create that. And again, it's literally a different mindset. Like, it's not that I'm better than that, I'm just different than that, because there are people who do that, who are craftsmen, who give their whole life to it the way that I give my whole life to writing. And I respect it. It's just, but I have learned I can't. It's not what comes out. And if I try to do it, I wouldn't get it. I get up at 5 a.m. That's when I start writing. I write from like 5 till 11. Sometimes I go till 1. I'm trying to finish the book now. These are hardcore hours. If I had just started a book, it's probably 5 till 8. Probably till just my partner Megan gets up. But right now but I get up at 5, and I wouldn't do that if I was just trying to churn out something for money. Because there are ways in Hollywood to make money.
Tell me, please.
Learn how to write a medical show. That's what you do. Learn how to write a medical show. Learn how to write a cop show. Again, I might take another job on a cop show someday. I would prefer not to, but like, that's when you can tell, like, oh, Jordan needs money. Is like, I'm going to go do something like a cop show, or actually work in television at all again, honestly, means I need money.
Just not feeling television?
There was an era where TV was really cool and interesting, and it fooled a lot of us into thinking it was an art form that's equal to film, and it's not. I will say that flatly. I don't think that television is an art form to the degree that film is, and there are reasons for that. There are real structural issues with serialized storytelling. The artistic era of television in a lot of ways started with like things like The Sopranos. And what we have learned, I think I have learned, is most stories don't benefit from being 50 hours long.
Oh, for sure. It's the same reason, like with comic books, like that you can't have a good story that has gone on 60 years. That's why mainline DC and Marvel's horrible.
Yeah.
Because you just can't.
Well, the truth is that stories benefit from beginnings and middles and ends.
For sure.
They just do. And you can have a 4-hour movie, you can have a short story, you can have a really long epic thing, and it can be done. I think like The Shield did it really well, where it told a lot of small stories with beginnings, middles, and ends that stretch into one big story.
I mean, the Money Train affected the whole fucking show.
Well, the pilot affected the whole show. Yeah. That they killed Terry resonates until the very last episode of that show, but also in every single episode of The Shield, there was a crime that happened in that episode that they solved in that episode. Because I do think that's what television does well, is the episode. Episodic storytelling can be great, but it needs a thing that resets so that there's like the circular motion so you can have beginnings and middles and ends. And we have lost that. Everything in television now is just de facto serialized. And that's part of the problem is we've kind of pushed that form of storytelling around probably as much as we need to.
Oh, it's too long, especially with some of the comic book IPs. Like I didn't need 30 hours of Daredevil.
Well, by the way, they're bringing it back.
I know they are.
Yeah.
And like, I loved those performances. I loved how gritty it was. I loved a lot about it. I just was exhausted by the end of it.
Yes. But the other thing that people lose sight of is people talk about the golden age of television and they act like Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of these streamers were a part of that, and they weren't. The truth is that Mad Men and Breaking Bad kind of went off the air almost the exact same year that Netflix started making content. So like that golden era that we talk about of The Shield and The Sopranos and Mad Men and Breaking Bad, and all that happened before any streamers were making television. And then these streamers came in and they kind of rode the coattails of basic cable and pay cable, because that's where the revolution happened. And they kind of acted like they were a part of it, but they weren't. And those are people with a tech mentality, which, as we are learning more and more every day, is an anti-human, anti-art mentality in a lot of ways.
Oh, no, it's just, they are all the business and show business. They are not.
Yeah, yes. And they don't have any like concept of what art is, or that it requires labor, because the tech mindset is a mindset that the guy at the top is the smart one and could do the job if he wanted. You know, you meet a lot.
Can't be bothered.
But he can't be bothered. You meet a lot of motherfuckers who think they would be really good fighters, but won't get into the ring. Like that's a lot of executives nowadays.
That's so many male human beings.
Yes, yes.
Like, oh, I'm a bad motherfucker. It's like, dog, have you trained at all? When was the last time you were able to like sustain running a mile?
Yes, yes.
You know how labor intensive actually fighting is? Like,
exactly. And obviously, God, I could it's been a long time since I did jujitsu. I'd get my ass whipped today. But no, I'm saying, you get these notes from these people. Like a good executive gives you notes from the position of like your first reader. So I think you were trying to do this, but this didn't really land. Maybe this joke could be better. They understand that their job is to be somebody reflecting back what you have done.
And also like try to give positive feedback when you give those notes as well. It can't be all negative feedback.
No. We all call it the compliment sandwich, and it goes, if they open up, you have to listen to what the first compliment is, because if it's a really small compliment, you're about to get fucked, because this was the nicest thing. When I wrote my very first pilot that I ever wrote, which to be fair sucked, I have to say it sucked. It was really bad. And I turned it in. I thought it was good at the time, but
that's how art works.
That's how art works.
To tangent real quick. This is why I yell at people all the time. They're like, we'll come on the show like, oh, I want to do this thing. I'm like, start doing it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I want to do I'm like, no. Everything you initially do is going to suck.
Yeah.
You're going to think it's awesome when you do it. You're going to think it's absolutely great. It's going to suck. You only will get better at it by doing the fucking thing. So start doing the thing now.
Start doing the thing. No, I have a novel that I wrote that will never be published. I have a couple of pilots that are bad. I have a couple of pilots I really like, but I turned it to my agents, and they're going to give me notes, and the first note was, I really like that it's set in the valley. I'm like,
oh, that's
the
Your geography is the best part about this.
Yes.
Oh god,
yes. A totally like meaningless choice that anybody could make. That's what we like. I'm like, and it was a bad pilot again, but you just get a lot of people nowadays who think that they could do the job better and can't be bothered, and give these huge notes that like they are a writer too. And it's like, if you want to be a writer, get in the fucking ring with us. Like come take the lumps, get in the TV writer's room. They don't get what goes on in a TV writer's room. And again, there's a lot harder jobs, but I'm saying, you get in, you got to pitch a board, you got to come to everybody and say, here's the story. Everybody sits there and they try and pick holes in it, which I like from other writers, because those are people who know how to do the gig.
Well, it's one of those things where like I feel like where you say there are harder jobs, yes and no.
No.
Because there are many more physically demanding jobs. There are many more dangerous jobs. But I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, that's not a job you can just come in, phone in. You can't roll in hungover and just phone in being a creative there. I mean, I'm sure people do it.
Yes, people do it, but like they typically don't do it unless they're in a position of power that allows other people to cover up their fucking sins.
Right. And that's the biggest thing I think people don't discuss as being a creative is it's not a job you can just fucking phone in.
No, and the irony specifically of like Hollywood, where you have to pour your heart into it, but you don't have a lot of control a lot of the time, is they really expect you to like open up your chest and put your heart into things. and then they just toss it out, and there is a psychological damage. As a pro, you're supposed to go like, oh, I don't mind, I'll throw it all out. And I say that I can do it. Like, I'm a pro, but like, it fucking sucks, man. You kill yourself to do this stuff. And
you've put hours.
Yeah. Sometimes you're mining your own tragedies and traumas. You take, the worst thing that's ever happened to you and you figure out a way to put it on the page, and somebody goes, eh.
Some gatekeeper's like, this doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah. Yes.
I can't relate to this.
The way things are made now with all these different layers of stuff bubbling through, all these different filters, all these different people, all these different bosses, it takes the fucking flavor out of everything, and that's what's going on now. If TV seems bad to people right now, and I do think TV is pretty bad right now, it's because things aren't allowed to get through with warts and lumps. And like with the warts and the lumps are what make things interesting.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of the Shield, Sean Ryan has admitted, like during interviews, like, I don't know shit about police procedurals.
Yeah.
He's like, I was LARPing my way through all the police procedural end of this.
Well, and he did a great job as a showrunner. He built a team, because if you watch the writing credits of The Shield, they don't change much from the first episode to the last, because he built a really good team and he brought them up. And Kurt Sutter, went on to do Sons of Anarchy and stuff, who I think really was a much better guy in a writer's room being the crazy guy than being the showrunner where he's the crazy guy. Like, you kind of want that gonzo guy in the corner pitching what if we killed him with a hand grenade? Like,
what if we killed him with a hand grenade? What if we force the police chief to suck somebody off?
Yes. Which are all great moments, but you kind of need that guy not.
But they're impactful because they're few and far between.
Right. It's just like, Kramer was great on Seinfeld, but then they gave Kramer a show and it was like, no, nobody wants this much Kramer.
Nobody wants this much Joey.
Yeah. Nobody wants this much Joey. Bless. Matt LeBlanc knew there was no.
He took the paycheck.
He took a paycheck.
I would too.
Well, he was actually in a show called Episodes.
Oh, I love that show.
Episodes is great, and it is a very accurate representation of what it's like to work in Hollywood. I mean, obviously it's a comedy, but like you can't satirize Hollywood. Like everything, I always tell people, if you want to know about Hollywood, everything you've heard is true. Every single thing. Every single thing, good or bad, is true. And whatever, like the worst, dumbest parody of the show of Hollywood you've seen, yes, that is true. They are that dumb, they are that craven, they are that stupid, they're that backstabbing. And then there's great stuff too. Like it really is like, I love being in a TV room with like other writers solving crazy problems. How are we going to kill this guy? How are we, it's really.
A grenade, obviously.
Yeah, a grenade. Like I think it's been long enough. We can bring that one back again.
Oh, the attention span of the modern viewer, like you could have brought that back 10 years ago.
That's true. That's true. I don't think, I think it's a shame that The Shield didn't really make it as one of like the classics for a lot of people. I think it's the best.
I have all 7 seasons on DVD.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I think it's the best show of all time, but like,
I'm not there with you, The Wire. I'm still.
I hear you. I think The Wire has a lot of lofty things, but I just think The Shield is a better story. And I'll tell you this too. I think it's more honest about police. I think that David Simon wrote The Wire because he really liked cops. And I think that he is giving the best argument for the police that somebody can make. And The Shield is pure fucking noir. It is, what if they were all weak human beings? Should we really be giving these people guns? Nobody asked that question on The Shield. With that, even like the really good people, you always find out what their terrible weakness is. And I just love the way it all tumbles down. And it's just, to me, a better story, whereas the Wire has some great moments, but as an overall story, I don't think it's as good.
Well, I think part of what The Wire does better than The Shield, there's 2 focuses on The Wire. There's the criminal aspect, and the criminal aspect is what's really enjoyable for me on The Wire.
I agree. I love that stuff.
Besides McNulty, I don't actually care about most of the cops.
Yeah.
Like season 4, I know a lot of people really love season 4 of The Wire, but that's the season that has so little McNulty. I'm like, this is actually not the season I give that much of a fuck about.
No, I understand. I heard that, people who were selling bootlegs in Baltimore of The Wire, you could buy it where all the cop stuff was edited out. And it was just the corner boys and all that. I was like, I would watch that cut.
Right?
So just
season 5 might be a little weird with no cops in it.
yeah. A short season, but like, but it'd be kind of cool. I don't know. No, I hear you about that, but I love the story of The Shield. I love what it says. I love the excitement of every episode, and Walton Goggins especially, who I've worked with and I love. But I worked with him because of The Shield and because of how much I loved his performance. I love characters who are pieces of shit and know they're pieces of shit. Like that's my vibe. Those are the characters I tend to write. Not your Vic Mackeys, not your Mad Men, but like people who like are just really just, when you like lock your car keys in the car and you're shutting the door and you slam it, and as it's slamming shut, you see the keys and you have the thought, I shouldn't shut the door, but your hand is still moving while you have that thought. I love people whose whole lives are that of just like, I am fucking up, I should not have a drink, and then they have a drink, and so that's why I love that character.
Uncut Gems should have been great for you then.
Oh, I fucking love Uncut Gems. Oh, people are like, oh, it's like I have a panic attack when I watch that movie. I'm like, that's the world. I love it. I can tune into that frequency. I love that. I love Good Time, the movie they made before Uncut Gems. Yep. We talking off air about, I'm going to start writing a movie soon. I sold a movie idea, and my idea, I won't pitch the whole thing, but it's basically Good Time if they were vampires.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's just every vampire movie I've ever seen makes it look like it'd be really easy to be a vampire.
Oh, no, it'd be horrible.
It would be horrible. You have to murder somebody every single night.
And well, you don't necessarily have to murder someone. You just have to take some of their blood.
Well, again, you got to make the rules of the world. But, but I'm talking about like your first day. Like you get dumped into the world as a vampire and you don't pretend you don't have like some cool vampire show.
You don't have Vampire 101.
You don't have Vampire 101. And you're like in some place like 29 Palms. And you're like a kid who works in a gas station, and all of a sudden now you have to murder somebody tonight, and you have to get away with it. And if anybody finds you during the daytime, you're fucked.
That is a lot less difficult of a story in the 90s. Trying to pull that off in 2025, where everyone has footage in their pocket.
Yeah. I struggle with that a lot. My new book has a serial killer in it, and there's part of me going like, shouldn't there be ring footage? Shouldn't there be that? And I kind of just downplay that part a little bit just because I really want the serial killer. But it is a thing we deal with in the crime fiction world all the time now.
Well, for sure. I mean, speaking of television stuff, did you watch The Umbrella Academy?
No, I heard it was pretty good.
It's pretty good. The problem is, at least for the televised version, the whole plot's solved by one cell phone, and there's just no cell phones in the story.
That's too much. Like you can't.
Well, and the original comic takes place in the 70s,
right?
But they modernized it for television, and it's like this whole plot's solved by a cell phone.
Yeah,
literally, people are looking for each other in places, and there's just no cell phones in sight. They just wrote them out of the alt fiction.
See, that's too much. I'm not doing that with my book. I'm just kind of downplaying. Like, were they able to get footage of this guy when he's striking, and I downplay that a little bit. I do like, and that's a good thing about a book is in a book, you're gonna have people text, you have people be online because you're just reading about it. It's not boring the way it is. This thing they do in TV now where they have to figure out a way to dramatize texting,
pop the bubbles,
and it's just it's cinematic death.
Here's a way to get around the ring cameras and stuff. Here's a pitch. Have your character have basic knowledge of how cable modems work and just unplug their fucking cable. They have no internet now. Now the ring's not transmitting.
Well, there you go. I mean,
literally, as someone who installed cable professionally at one point, there is a closet around the corner here that a wrench and a screwdriver, I could disable the whole internet for the whole floor.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're a serial killer, I don't think that would be too difficult to figure out.
That's true. That's true. I might need to throw that in. I just got really. Do you know who Julio Fulio was? Do you ever hear this story?
Oh, the guy who got murdered in
the hotel party.
And it's all Tesla camera footage.
Yes, that's exactly the point. Like, I got super, super into this whole story, and part of it was, if people don't know, Julio Fulio was a rapper with a very long, very nasty beef with another rapper that involved him like rapping in graveyards with photos of dead guys, like laughing about how glad he was they were dead, and the other side did that too, and they did it back and forth, and like a lot of people got killed, and they caught Julio Fulio last year at a Holiday Inn parking lot. And they've got
that he advertised he was going to be at.
He advertised he was going to be at. Again, these guys, they're not criminal masterminds, but like the cops, when they put out the footage of the hit, it looked like a Michael Mann movie because they had high def Tesla footage of the shooters edited in with the security cam footage. So they had like 7 angles on.
Oh yeah, it was wild. I watched it.
I was like, this is insane. This is the 21st century. Like,
yeah, just AK-47 through the parking lot.
Yes.
Like,
And yeah, it's incredible. And of course, the killers got caught. And, again, they're not smart about this stuff. Like, and the truth is the cops just don't care that much. about most of the stuff. So when something goes high profile and they bring in like the big guns, it's really pretty easy to catch people nowadays because of all that stuff.
For sure. It's not the 70s. It's not even the 90s.
No.
Because even if you're caught on camera in the 90s, it was so fucking grainy. It's like,
maybe that's him. No, this stuff was high def. I mean, the guy's wearing masks, but they also got a security footage of the car waiting to pick them up across the street. And they get them now with cameras all up and down routes. They can get, it's like when Luigi Mangione killed that CEO, they had the murder on footage. And then the thing he did that was incredibly smart was he drove into the park.
The park has cameras in it too, though.
Yeah, but I think they don't have as many. I mean, I really do think they had I think they really did struggle to find him in that moment, partially. But I don't think, other than the park, I don't think there's anywhere in Manhattan you can walk down the street, they wouldn't be able to follow you.
Oh, no, they had him follow the whole, I mean, they still followed him from the hostel where, he decided that, he was trying to get some and showed the
his face. I am not a lawyer. I have not seen the evidence, but I've seen some people say, they don't have nearly as much evidence on him as you
as of today. His lawyer pressed for the evidence to be thrown out of the gun because the police didn't have proper chain of custody of his backpack.
Oh, that'll do it. If they don't have the gun.
Oh, no, they had the gun.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but if they get the gun excluded,
yeah,
what do they have?
Nothing.
They have nothing.
Nothing.
They have nothing.
And probably a jury that's not super thrilled to convict him in the first place.
Well, and again, you only need one. That's the thing about jury nullification is you only need one. One guy goes, no.
Yeah, but then they can retry if they go not guilty.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But still, especially an expensive case like this, they can refile, but they got to let him out, I think, at that point. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because, he did plead not guilty, so he must think he has some kind of chance.
Even if he didn't think he has a chance, to make this a circus is part of the play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you saw the photos of him in court this week where they had his bulletproof vest was like fitted to him where it just looked like he was a yuppie wearing a vest. Like,
the best part is he was wearing a green sweater too.
Yeah, yes. They have stylists, like they are leaning into the emotion of it.
One of the best memes I saw about it was just like, of course he's wearing green. He's Luigi.
It's good.
Just like, fuck yeah. The amount of like leftist memes I've seen where like, it's just like, the Mario character Luigi has just become a symbol now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is like a meaningful, what do they call it? A floating signifier. It has detached from Mario's brother and now means, politically justified murder.
Yeah.
And that's fun. It's fun for me anyway. I don't know.
It's a wild world. It's a wild. And what's crazy to me is I have delusions of grandeur of being a writer occasionally. Mm-hmm. I 100% know I do not have the fucking focus to actually put pen to paper. I know I don't. I've tried. I can't do it. But I had this fantasy about like writing a feature about that the working title was The Guillotine, which was a class warfare story of, actually assassinating a rideshare CEO, like capturing, torturing, and then assassinating a rideshare CEO. And spoilers for the ending was nothing changes afterwards.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, what would change? Like, that's the thing about, like, this is a symbolic death. And if it has any meaning whatsoever, it's in symbolics because I'm sure that job has been filled.
Oh, I could Google it right now.
Yeah.
But
I bet they don't have his photo on the website.
Oh, fuck no. They took all the photos down.
Yeah. No, that is the thing that has changed is that those people are more scared and maybe there's some value to that or maybe not. It's hard to say. But no, you can't put too much on. There are very few human beings who their murder would actually change the world. There's a really great counterexample to that from a few years ago, which is the assassination of Shinzo Abe in Japan. Where, this guy made a homemade shotgun to kill Shinzo Abe. And he said, look, I did it because Shinzo Abe was in with these Moonies who've come in and taken over the Japanese government. And they took all my mom's money. And I'm really upset about it. So I killed the most popular, visible person who was in bed with them. And everybody in Japan went, you know what? This guy's right.
Well, but also, they have a wildly different culture than we do.
Well, that is true. That is true. But, you have to, you cannot argue with, like, there are very few times where you can point to a political assassination like that and say it did what it was trying to do. And that guy did. And he knew he was going to jail for the rest of his life. He wasn't some crazy maniac. He made a conscious, rational decision that he considered to be a valid choice. And
it's like, for the greater good.
For the greater good. And again, it worked. And that's why I think they don't talk about it very much. Because the concept of politically viable violence from people on the bottom is a terrifying concept.
Oh, for sure. And it's the fun part about history being written by the victor. It's like, if you win, you're a freedom fighter. If you lose, you're a terrorist.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, the word terrorist is essentially meaningless, especially given who it is and isn't put upon. This is a line from my last book is, getting to decide what is and isn't violence is the best trick they have, because there's a lot of things in this life that happen that affect people and hurt them physically. And we don't call it violence because it's not some guy throwing a bat. But
oh, no, denying thousands cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Or, oh, hey, you've gone over the clock on anesthesia. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Oop,
Yep.
No, that's violence. How is that not violence? And
it definitely results in death.
Yes, it results in death. It results in pain. It is preventable. It's not a choice you have to make. It's a choice you are making to serve, meaningless bottom lines, and it's violence. And there's a lot of other things that are like that we choose not to see as violence, because if we did, you would see where the fight started instead of where they choose to say the fight starts.
Oh, for sure. At time of recording over the weekend, there was a gunman who burst into an ICU in Pennsylvania.
I didn't hear about this.
So, his wife died of a terminal illness, and he came back with zip ties and a gun, like a couple days later, and a police officer was killed in it, and 5 people were injured in the shooting. But
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, and it's just like, I understand the rage, man, but like, I don't know if it was putting it at healthcare professionals who are stretched pretty fucking thin. And like, one of the doctors who works in that ICU wrote a really couple-page response to what happened, and it was just like, we all get into this wanting to heal people.
Yeah.
And over time, because of how the system works, we are stretched thin and we become callous. We become, we aren't the same people that got into this.
I mean, I don't know, like I said, I had a chance to spend 12 hours in an emergency room recently. I don't know the last time you did that, but it's a good thing to do every once in a while. Check in with the way the world's going, because emergency rooms don't empty ever.
No,
there are always people in there. There are always people showing up, and all of the people working there, they can be callous, but they are also running at full speed all the time, because it just does not stop. There are people in pain. There are people who are sick. There are weird people who need help. Like, there's so many different things going on. And I don't think they're not the proper target for people's.
No, absolutely not. The system not having enough funding to actually provide proper care is the problem. Not people spread too thin and having a very predictable emotional response to being spread too thin is not who should be lashing out at.
Yeah, again, we were talking about this a little off the air, but it's like people get mad at the DMV for being slow, and it's like, well, because there aren't enough. Look at this line.
Yeah.
Like, and anybody, if you've ever had a job, you have to be able to reach a baseline when you're at your job. Like, you have to be able to walk at a normal speed. If you're working 8 hours a day, it can't be an emergency all the time. So they have to act like they're at their job.
Well, and on top of it, if you are someone who sprints in a job like that, you'll be rewarded with more work.
That's right. That's one of the big secrets that you have to tell people is don't work hard. Working hard is not just not rewarded, it's punished.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. My ex-wife I remember she was working at an architectural lighting design firm, and she was very young, and they placed her with a problem client. She was like, I'm going to show them I can do this so I can get a great job. I'm going to show them that I deserve this place. And she answered phones at 3 a.m. and she worked for this guy 12, 14 hours a day. And the guy was thrilled. And so the next time she was free, what did they do? They gave her the next problem client, because she's good with problem clients. And it's like, that's the lesson of life is don't work hard. Don't
work enough to not get fired.
Work enough to not get fired. Work on your own shit. And figure out your exit strategy at all times, and never ever believe that you owe your boss anything, that they are lucky to have you. They are paying you the salary that you deserve, because your time, you deserve more. I'm sure, unless you're a professional baseball player, or like if you're Ohtani, you're okay. You're making more money for them than you are for yourself, but you're okay. But like, most people deserve more than they have, and never let them make you feel guilty, and never ever think you owe them a fucking thing, because you don't.
It's a symbiotic relationship. It's not.
Sorry, I don't do ads. You know, I'm not a promo guy, but if I could, I would do them for Shirley Temple flavored sugar-free 7-Up. That would be who I would do ads for. So if they're interested.
Yeah, I don't think, non-alcoholic sugar-free products are looking to advertise here.
I am out of my element here. That's one of the things I like about this is coming on a podcast called Now We Drink and showing up with my little sody pops, you know.
It's okay. So many people are like, well, I don't want to do the show because you have to drink. I'm like, you don't have to drink. I couldn't have half the adult industry on if I forced people to drink. You just have to put up with me drinking. This is all an excuse for me to write off my booze.
Ooh, that's smart. I didn't think about that part. I love being able to write stuff off.
Well, yeah, I'm self-employed. This is all for me to write off my fucking booze. Have you not figured that out yet?
That's a great thing about being a writer is every movie I go to, that's a write-off, man. That's research. That's
same for being a podcaster.
Oh, I'm sure. Every trip you take.
Oh, 100. Well, I can't remember the last trip I took where I didn't podcast on the trip. So.
Well, there you go. Well, then that actually counts. No, you never know. I might write a book about Japan. Haven't yet, but I might,
Yeah, last time I was there, I did 2 podcasts. So.
There you go. I think last time I saw you, I was just getting ready to go to Japan. Yeah. Pretty cool country.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Sorry, audience. Sorry, we're doing it. We're doing the thing.
Oh.
Speaking of Japan, I just had Jake Edelstein on not too long ago when he was here for his book signing.
Oh, cool. And no, I went to Tokyo. We didn't go anywhere else but Tokyo. That was fine.
There's a lot there.
Well, that's the thing. It was 9 days, and I'm a person who I would rather stay still when I travel. I'm not like a rush around. I want to soak something in. And really, 9 days in Tokyo was not enough.
Oh, absolutely. I've been to Japan 3 times. I have never left Tokyo.
Yeah.
I think I have a grand total of something like 30 days in Tokyo, and it's just like, oh no. I only go to like the same 4 districts. There's so much I have not explored.
Yeah. There were a few days because there was one day where like, do we want to go take a train to Kyoto? And I'm like, I don't want to like take a 4-hour train and then come back. Like we have a good hotel room. So we went to some of the outer districts of Tokyo and we saw some interesting things. So we did kind of leave those core districts, but not very much. And again, like we never ran out of things to do. The bookstores, oh my God, like
bookstores, the restaurants, like you just go down some weird alley. It's like there's some awesome restaurants.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I've told people since I went is we went with a big itinerary, big lists of restaurants, all that stuff. Yeah, and the first couple of days we would wait in line for an hour and a half to have some bowl of ramen or whatever. And I'm glad I did that a little, but by day 3 we figured out, oh, that place next door is almost as good, which is still better than anything else I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
And that's good enough. So just go there.
What I have said multiple times about Japan is like, people are not about doing shit in half measures. They're about doing things to their best ability of like, I make ramen. I make the best ramen I possibly can.
Oh yeah.
I make sushi. I make the best sushi I possibly can. It may not be the best sushi, but it's still the best of my life. No one's phoning it in ever there.
Well, I went, I know like there's a bookstore district. And in the bookstore district, all of the bookstores are on one side of the street, and the other side of the street are all restaurants because that's the side of the street that gets shade, and they don't want the books to get too much sun. So they only build bookstores on that side of the street. And you're like, that's beautiful, man. Like, that's beautiful. Yeah, I loved it. I really want to go back and like maybe go for like 30 days and rent like a place and try and write a book while I'm there.
One of the biggest regrets I have in my life is when I quit my day job in 2014 before I moved to LA. I just quit my job. I had a bunch of money in the bank, and I'm like, I could go do a month in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I could just go I have the money to. I don't know what other point in my life I will have the money and the time to just fuck off for a month and go to Japan. And I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't do it at the time was I'd been a full-time road warrior for the last couple of years for my day job. Like,
yeah.
I lovingly refer to it as I was guest starring in my own life. And I rationalized to myself at the time, like, do I really want to go to another country for a month where I know no one, except for like a couple people I met on vacation a year earlier, and I don't speak the language, and isolate myself even further for a month? Like, will I mentally be okay doing this? And I decided that I wasn't. But with rose-colored glasses a decade later, I'm like, I wish I had done it.
No, but you know what, though? That part about being alone in a place where they don't speak the language, I do think like 30 days would be a lot to do alone. I just went to Europe. I was supposed to go on this trip for my new book. It was a book tour. I went to this little town in Italy. This is not a happy story. I went to this little town in Italy, and then I went to Milan, and I was going to fly to Madrid and do a week in Spain. And then my dog died while I was in Milan. And it was really awful. I have 13 years from a puppy. Like I really still, I mean, it's not fun. But specifically to this point, being in a place where people around you aren't speaking the language while you're like deeply upset is like, you feel so alone. It's hardcore. It was really intense because my partner wasn't there. I was, just in a hotel room and like trying to explain to like an Italian guy behind a desk at a hotel, like, no, I have to leave right now. Like I had to go back to America. Like I couldn't, maybe some people could have their dog die and then go on their book tour. I'm not that person. I am.
Those people are monsters.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's like, I hate to like say that's what, also I've been to Italy twice in my life, more than a decade apart. And both times I went, I had a pet die back at home. So I might be done.
Yeah, done with Italy.
Yeah, I'm done with Italy.
Like, that is anecdotal, but pretty compelling.
Yeah. Again, I'm batting 1,000 on pet death. And, I think that, people go, well, maybe go without a pet. And I'm like, well, do you want me to take that risk? Because what if it
changes to a person?
Yeah. What if it changes to a person? You really, you willing to roll that dice?
I'm glad we're not that close.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I'm going to Sicily. Like, fuck.
Fuck. But in Japan, for all of its greatness, you are isolated, like because they will tolerate you there, but they're not always the friendliest. Like
it's always very polite.
Yes, but on day 27, you might start to need something more than polite. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And as I said, it's completely rose-colored glasses. In a decade later, hindsight, at the time, I definitely felt like I made the right choice.
Yeah,
but part of me regrets. My thoughts with regret in life in general is like, you should only regret the things you didn't do.
Yeah.
So part of me is just like, fuck, I definitely could have done that. And now if I had the month and the time, I would definitely do it because when I was there last time, I made friends with a bunch of American, or not American, but a bunch of expats that do stand-up comedy there at the one Western style comedy club in Tokyo. So like, well, if I was really feeling lonely, I could always just roll in there and hang out with the comedians.
Oh, that's true. And there's things and I guess that's true. With 30 days, you could really figure some of those things out because there are going to be the places where the Americans are. You can just go there every once in a while. Or like you said, they don't have to be American, just people who speak English.
Yeah. Shout out to Tokyo Comedy Bar. You guys are great.
Nice. I like that. I didn't do anything like that.
Well, it was one of those things where like when I was there last time, I was there by myself and I was just like, I pretty much spent the whole trip like drinking, eating, and doing street photography. Some of the American comics friends of mine had gone to Tokyo Comedy Bar to do roast battle. And I'm like, I should pop in for a show and check this out. And I happened to pop in on a Sunday night where like one of the regulars was moving to another country and they were like doing a like send-off show.
Oh, fun.
So like just hung out, talked to the owner, talked to a couple of the other comics. I'm like, hey, I'm a professional podcaster. Like I'm here to do another podcast, but I would love to like sit down and talk with you guys and like do a show with you. So I did a show with the owner and one of the other comics. And it was great because what I really wanted to understand is like, how as a professional comedian do you guys decide, hey, I'm going to do Western style comedy in a market that does not cater to Western style comedy? Like what makes you want to get up and do your art every day where it will not ever really be commercially viable here?
Yeah.
And
did you hear anything that was a good answer to that? Because that is a great question.
The love of the game is really what it came down to. It was just, we love this. We opened a Western style comedy club to try to introduce more people in Japan to Western style comedy because comedy in Japan is very vaudevillian and it's often comedy duos and it's generally a gatekeeper that decides you two are funny. We're going to put you two together.
Oh, okay.
And then they book you out versus, how it works in the States. Hey, you do open mics. People think you're funny. They book you on things.
Right.
So it was really interesting that like these people are so passionate about traditional Western stand-up comedy that they're like, we're going to bring this here. We're going by hook or crook. We're going to make this work.
I love that. I really do. Again, that's what we all have to get back to now. Like, I do think that is like I I had a really shitty experience in television last year, and one of the things it did for me that I think is like a real blessing is I changed the way I identify, which sounds like I'm making like a trans joke or something. I am not, but I did think about my trans friends though. I'm not comparing them as equals, but like I stopped identifying as a TV writer and author. And I said, I'm an author who sometimes works in television, because that I just like looked at my life and it's like, where do I get the joy? What if I could pick one, what would it be? It's to do the books. I still need a day job sometimes because books I do all right, but it's not, it's not a living yet.
It's a rougher medium.
It's a rougher medium, and it's not the juggernaut culturally that it used to be, although lots of people still read. And noir specifically, what I do is not in its heyday. I'm trying to change that as much as I can, but that's where we're at.
I'm all here for it. I'm here for it.
But I did think it was like important for me to kind of say that. And it's like, no, I'm not a TV writer. I'm an author, and I work in television sometimes. And I'm really also, as much as I can afford to, changing the balance of that. I haven't worked in television since last August, and I probably will again, unless everybody goes out and buys my book, which would be amazing. I'm just really into the
Buy all of Jordan's books.
All of them. I tell you what, if you go to Vroman's, I think is the best bookstore in Los Angeles. It's in Pasadena, but the greater Los Angeles area. And they are actually they carry all of my books, including my short story collection, which you cannot find in stores anymore. So
Book Soup doesn't have your shit?
they have some of it, but I'm saying the Vroman's has the whole. They have
what the fuck, Book Soup? Why don't you have it all?
I've done events at Book Soup. I like them, but no, Vroman's that's also like my home base. Like that's where I do my author events. And so like that's where I steer people. Book Soup's a great bookstore though. That's a cool little place. LA needs better bookstores though. That's the other thing about living in Portland for 6 months is that place is a 20th of the size of Los Angeles, and it has at least two bookstores that are better than it, because they have Powell's, which is the greatest bookstore in America, and then they have the other Powell's on the other side of the river, which is not as big as Powell's, but still is probably bigger than anything except for maybe Vroman's in LA, and the last bookstore, but that place isn't that good really.
No, it's a tourist attraction.
It's a tourist attraction, yeah.
You have your picture in the whole of books.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have like 3 bookshelves of new books. And then, it's a decent used bookstore up there. You can find stuff, but no, it's not like Vroman's is a bookstore, Skylight Books, even though it's not big, that's a good bookstore. But like we don't have a thing. We should have a Powell's, we should have a Strand, where it's a fucking metropolitan area here.
Well, in the modern era, what do you feel about people buying books digitally versus picking up physical media?
I mean, you know what? Like, it's the same thing I would say about the way I write. If it will make you read, if it's easier for you to read on a digital book, read a digital book. Audiobooks, again, if that's what's getting you to read books, then do it. Like, whatever it is that is getting you to sit down and engage is what I like. I like paperbacks. I don't really like hardcovers that much. I just find them unwieldy. I like a nice paperback you can pop in a backpack, you can take in the bathtub. Like, I just like that's what I like. And I've tried several times to like read on iPads, and I can do it, but I don't enjoy it. I think I do really like the physical medium of a paper book. But again, I'm not a cop, man. If somebody wants to read an ebook, man, that's all on them.
I'm of two minds. One, I do prefer the physical media. Like I prefer turning pages. But on the other hand, I've moved enough in my life.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I hated, like, when I moved from Vegas to LA, my books stayed in Vegas. My books, almost all of them, stayed with, like, friends who were just like, here, have my fucking books. Like, I just didn't want to move them anymore. Like, I shedded a bunch of them when I moved from Chicago. Even more when I moved from Vegas. It was just like, they fucking just are too unwieldy to fucking move.
Well, no, I hear you. So I moved to Eagle Rock, and we don't have a basement, but we have like one little room downstairs that I was like, this is where I'm going to keep my books. And I put them all up on the shelves there. And then 2 years ago, like 6 months after we moved in, we had those awful rainstorms, and that room flooded.
Oh no.
And we had to tear down the walls because, the water got in the walls, and you got to tear it out to stop black mold. So I had to take all the books down.
Oh, I was afraid your books got destroyed.
No. The books were okay, but like I had to pack them all up and put them in the garage, and then we rebuilt, and I put the books back. And then last year it rained again in that same crazy, we had 2 years in a row where it rained crazy, and it flooded again, and we had to tear the walls down. And this time I just put all the books in boxes, and still 90% of my book collection have been for 2 years now, or a year now, in cardboard boxes in my garage. And it looks like, okay, I guess it's safe for me to rebuild the library for real this time. But like, it's a fucking hassle. Cause yeah, I have a couple thousand books and like, it's too much. But this is the other thing that we forget about. The library fucking rules. Man, just request it at the library, you know? And you're good. That's it. It's such a miracle. Libraries are every time. I'm not patriotic. I don't believe in patriotism, but when I walk into a library, I get this feeling of just like, what a fucking good for humanity. It's this shitty lighting and everybody is like kind of weird there, but like, it's just a place where we just give people things and it's awesome. And you could never invent libraries now.
Like, oh no, no one would ever fund them now.
No. It's only because they've existed for 100 years that they exist at all now. And that's why we got to protect them because like, I can't believe we're not talking about them wanting to shut down all the libraries. We will.
I'll give it time.
Yeah, give it time.
I mean, they're not federally funded in a lot of cases.
Oh, that's true. That's probably a lot of what it is they're all municipally funded. But like, no, I love libraries, but look, people are reading and there's this idea that people don't read. And it's not true. Now, the truth is, and this affects me and my bottom line, which is why I care about it, men don't read as much as they used to. And that's only on men. Like, they can't complain about it like, oh, books aren't being written for them. Motherfucker, there's fucking 3,000 years worth of books out there. There's something out there you like. You got it, but you have to choose to do it. And you men complain about losing their place in culture. It's like, well, guess what? That's culture. Go fucking read. Like, that's how, like, they publish books based on what people buy. And if men aren't buying books, you know, when we were coming up, it was like Chuck Palahniuk, you know, guys would read mystery novels, they'd read sci-fi, they'd read horror, and, you know, they would read noir. And I don't just write for men, but like, I could use more male readers, to be totally honest, because they're just, dudes are fucking up, man.
Dudes are really complaining that they're not being represented in the culture.
Well, you know, yeah. Have you not heard that yet?
No.
It's like, it's so fucking pathetic. Dudes, especially white male cis dudes who only want to hang out with other cis white male dudes and get fucking freaked the fuck out. Like, they don't like, I know this is not like fucking a deep insight here, but they don't like women. Like, I don't.
No. Believe me. Oh, I know. I know.
I'm sure you know better.
My comment section is like, oh, you're in the friend zone, bro. Like, no. That's just my friend.
Yes.
Like, or, oh, I can't believe you're defending, a porn star. I'm like, that's my friend.
Yes.
That's my friend. Do you not have women in your life that you would defend no matter?
I don't think they do.
Like, I don't care what my friend does for a living. She's my friend. Yeah, I'm going to defend her from anonymous internet asshole who's talking shit about what her chosen profession is.
It's, the shit. And I do think, again, like, this is not mind-blowing that the internet has poisoned a whole generation at this point. And they come up with the term that I think about a lot now is virtue signaling, where they use that term and they use it to dispose of virtue. Like, the problem with virtue signaling, if it exists at all.
Oh, it exists.
Sure. But if the places it exists, the problem with it is not the virtue, it's the signaling. But they fucking twist it so all of a sudden any display of virtue is virtue signaling, which means that you literally can't be virtuous. And like,
so the thing about it is, like, are you actually being virtuous, or are you actually just fucking making a social media post thinking that you're going to change the world from it? Like,
for sure. But my point is that question is not asked in good faith most of the time. There is a blanket condemnation of any display of any kind of virtue under the assumption that it must be. That is the same with, like you're saying about friend zoning or white knighting. Are there people who like make egregious displays of their good feminism in order to score? Yes, there are. But the problem is that little sliver of people are used to wipe out the idea that it's natural or normal to be a good person. And that's where I think it gets really damaging. And again, the problem is the signaling, not the virtue.
Oh, for sure. Well, I also think that you don't need to brag to anyone if you're doing the right thing.
For sure. But I don't disagree with that. I just think like that is such a tiny little problem compared to the vast and visible evil of the world, that if that's what somebody is going on about, it's sus to me. It's like,
well, it should be. I mean, it should be sus when anyone is getting that involved in strangers' fucking lives.
Yes.
If you're that emotionally invested in someone who you don't know, who's never actually going to affect your life, what is going on in your life?
Yes.
What is going on there?
Well, again, like I think a lot of these guys, there's this hierarchy that does exist in this world that they don't feel like they're getting their share of the pie, and they are just blame the wrong people for that.
Well, don't blame anyone for that.
Well,
if you're not getting the share of the pie, the first thing you should examine is, well, the people that are getting their share, how are they doing that?
Well, I agree with that. I think you can also look at, again, somebody who works in Hollywood and sees the people who are rewarded versus the people who aren't. I think it's worth pointing out that maybe we could work on this system of rewards and benefits if the people who succeed are constantly not the most talented, not the most, hardworking, but are the sociopathic monsters who claw their way to the top. I do think it's worth looking at systems and judging them and changing them, because the world is not a natural thing. It's a thing we build. And so I think we're allowed to look at it. Yeah. Also, take care of yourself, do things like, understand that the revolution isn't coming tomorrow, but
also you're not owed shit. The world does not owe you anything. Anyone who is upset that they're not getting X, Y, and Z because it's owed to me. I'm the protagonist of my story.
Oh, those can be two different ideas too, though. Like, I do think that we all owe each other something, in my opinion.
Well, society as a whole.
Yes.
You're not owed the girl. You're not owed.
Oh yeah, no.
Life.
We're talking about yes.
You're not owed all these things that you're upset about that you're not getting. You're not owed riches. You're not owed any of this.
No, and you're not owed
you're not owed success.
No, you're really not owed success. And again, I wish that success wasn't paired with things like being able to buy a fucking house. Like that should not be a marker of rampant success that you own a house. It just shouldn't be, but it is in this world.
It is.
This city.
Well, especially the city.
Oh my God, it's insane. No.
Well, and just anecdotally, I've owned property in my life. I didn't feel successful about it. It was actually a hindrance at points.
No, I mean, and because, boy, you don't know what can go wrong with a house till you own one.
Well, it trapped me in Chicago for years longer than I wanted to be there because I couldn't sell the place, and the HOA rules said I couldn't rent it.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Well, it's when I bought the place, I didn't think about I would ever want to take out renters. I'm like, I bought a condo. This is where I live.
Yeah.
I made the right middle class move. I bought property.
That's right. You were buying into the system. You ever heard the idea of a cargo cult? You know what a cargo cult is? Cargo cult. I think that they have found that these ideas aren't really true, but this was an idea that came out in after World War II. So there were these tribes in the Pacific that lived their lives on these islands, and then we came through during World War II, and we would set up bases on these islands, and we would set up, we would march back and forth. The soldiers march back and forth. They would put on their headsets on the radio, and they would call in airdrops, and the airdrops would drop boxes in the water, and they would have food and chocolate in it, and the troops would share the chocolate and food with the people, the natives of the island. And then the war ended, and the troops left. And then decades later, these sociologists would show up on these islands, and they would find these guys walking around with coconut headphones and walking around with bamboo because they were trying to do the spell that made chocolate fall from the sky. And so that's what a cargo cult is. And again, I think that has turned out to kind of be a bit of a fairy tale, but I think it's a really good idea to hold on to, because everybody in America today is in a cargo cult, because there was a time where you could go to college, get a job, buy a house, raise a family, and it would all just go in this straight line like that. And people act like that's still true, and it's not.
It hasn't been true in our lifetimes.
Not essentially. I mean, we kind of we're in that generation where maybe if you hit the ramp exactly right, you landed it. But for the majority, but there's now a generation of people growing up who never even had that idea in high school, in elementary school. Nobody, but they're still expected by the world to act like that is the story.
College is the right choice for everybody.
Oh, I'm not anymore. No. And the irony is they ruined college as a way to get ahead in the world when it became about you go to college to get ahead in the world. It used to be you would go to college to learn things, and then that turned out to be really great for people who wanted to hire you, and so it was good for your career, but it wasn't this idea of it's a fucking mill you go through to make you right for your job. It's just to stamp you into the correct shape to fit behind a desk, and
all a college degree shows you these days is you know how to sit down and shut up for 4 more years.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, again, like people don't see any value in learning for learning's sake, which again, I think people don't read, men don't read, men aren't taught to like admire art, like in any sense, like not just paintings or anything, but like art as like an art. Again, like these tech people are anti-human in like a very real sense, in a way that I find way more chilling than a lot of other bad actors in this world. But I find this specific like disdain for art to be like just poisonous. Like it's just a poisonous worldview.
I don't know how we change it.
You know, again, like you kind of have to prepare for the moment that will come someday when things fall, because things will fall. We might be 80, we might be 90. It might not be us who are ready for it, because you can't start the dominoes falling. I can't. An event has to happen. Like there has to be an event that makes a new world possible, and then maybe it'll go up, maybe it'll go down.
I am too fat and old for a second Civil War. Like I am not in running for my life shape.
I hear you, man. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I thought I have a lot nowadays is even the life that we thought we were going to lead, which wasn't the ones that like the boomers had, might not be the life that happens.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm already in such uncharted territory about where I thought my life was going to be. Like in my 40s, like, oh, I'm a single dude who interviews porn stars in his living room. Like, what? If you had told me that in my 20s, hell, my early 30s, I'd be like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
This is a little off subject, but since we're here in your apartment recording, and I'm not a porn star, but
could be.
A niche market. There's a niche market.
Those are the most profitable ones.
You're probably right. But I was thinking about this. I made my protagonist in my new book your neighbor.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I just have him, he's in there and he's like doing work, and he can hear his neighbor next door, and it's just laughing and dirty talk, because he records a podcast where he talks to adult film stars. And I just, I don't know why I did that, but I just wanted to have him be in this. I wanted him to be in Hollywood, and I thought about coming here and recording this podcast. And so I just, whatever I could remember of it. And then I just, yeah. So
I kind of have a cameo in the book.
Sort of, yes. through a wall.
How I best enjoy it.
But yeah, I did do that because I was just, I'm always looking for like the flavor of Los Angeles and like weird little details that like make the city so unique. And that was one of the things I thought of, is like, that there are other cities where I guess you could have this experience, but this does.
No, this is pretty uniquely LA.
Yeah.
It's part of what keeps me here is like, LA is wildly expensive. Like I spent almost $300 in groceries this week.
Yeah.
I could live for much less in a lot of other places, but I tell myself every time, like, moving to somewhere else possibly comes across the horizon, I would have to wildly retool the show, or just be like, show's done. I'm starting something new. I'd have to just be like, new chapter in life.
Yes. No, because I mean, this is still the headquarters, right? This is
like Vegas, maybe, but I don't want to live in Vegas again.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends who live in Vegas who live like, far away from the Strip, but.
Oh no, everyone lives far away.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, but it still doesn't seem like, my friend Brian always tries to sell me on it, and I will go visit him, and it's like, there are great restaurants and there are things.
Oh, there's rad restaurants. There are things I miss about living in Vegas. I miss 24-hour everything. I miss 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what? I'm gonna go to my local bar, have a couple whiskeys, have a fucking graveyard shift the fucking $5 burger that was phenomenal, because they're catering to casino employees that are getting off.
Yeah.
If I put $20 in the video poker machine, I could drink for free as long as I could keep that play going. Like, there are things I miss about Vegas. I also don't miss how crushingly lonely it is, and it is really a rough town to meet people in.
Oh, I believe that.
People are very cliquish or transient, and they're cliquish because they expect you to be transient.
Right. Now, I believe that. And I mean, not that this is everything, but last time I was there in the middle of the day, and it gets warm there.
The heat never really bothered me as much as like, it's America's wax museum. Like, we're the entertainment capital of the world. No, you are the entertainment capital of highly refined, practiced, perfected art.
Yeah.
No one brings a rough show. No one tries things out in Vegas.
Right.
They are bringing their A game to their residency that they do fucking 5 nights a week, 2 shows a night.
Right. It's the land of Penn and Teller. It's not the land of people hustling, starting a band, things like that.
Right. Creating art.
Right.
Finished product goes to die in Vegas.
That's true. That's really interesting. It is a fascinating city, and it's a city that it doesn't get captured in art very much. Probably partially for that reason that artists can't go live there. But it seems like there's like a lot of crime stories that could be written there that I haven't seen. Because I think about it sometimes. I think about going and parking there for a little while and trying to see what kind of like fringe stories. I think I'll just shift a little bit here. The thing that's coming that is going to be written about a lot in the near future is there's going to be a wave of gambling addiction that's hitting this. I mean, it's hitting the country right now. These apps are insane.
Cryptocurrency is gambling.
Well, also cryptocurrency is gambling, but sports gambling is like these apps now. It's woven its way into our culture so quickly, and they're giving these. I mean, I remember when I was in college, the thing was you would sign up for a credit card and wreck your credit.
Right.
That was like $300, right? You would get it. They would
maybe a grand,
and they would set up on campus and they would suck you into that. But now you can get yourself a fucking 24-hour gambling app on your phone at the age of 18, and boy, that's going to be fucking guys up. And guys, I do mean guys, because they're not reading books. If they would read books, this wouldn't be an issue.
Well, no, because then they figured out that I have a system.
Yes.
The book taught me the system.
The book taught me the system. I love movies about gambling. I love poker movies. I love Rounders.
Rounders is one of my favorite movies.
I
introduced my roommate who had never seen Rounders. I'm like, how have you never seen this movie? It's phenomenal.
I love the dialogue of it. Just those guys, those writers love that lingo so much. You're really going to put all that glitter into play. All of that kind of, I just love it so much. It's so much fun to watch. I could watch it over and over again.
I mean, even when movies like Michael Clayton has his underground poker, scenes, like I had delusions of grandeur at some point in the 2000s of being a professional poker player.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a Doyle Brunson quote tattooed on me. So
you really?
I do.
Oh wow. What's the quote?
Luck favors the backbone, not the wishbone.
Ooh, that is really good.
It's a good quote no matter what, but
I like that. That's really good.
When push came to shove, oh yeah, I'm not a professional poker player in any way, shape, or form.
I'm not either. And but I really think about writing like a poker movie a lot. I own a book. I think it's called Road Cruise. It was written in the 50s, and it was a guide to how to be a professional poker hustler back in the 50s when that was like a really viable thing. And I think about that as a low budget movie. Even if you set it in the 50s, it would be cheap because you're in poker rooms the whole time.
Well, and have you ever read Doyle Brunson's Super Systems and shit like that?
No, I've never. I play poker every once in a while. I know the rules, but I'm not a good poker player. So no.
I'm not actually a good poker player. Once again, delusions of grandeur. Full Dunning-Kruger, like fucking,
yeah.
Like, oh no, I understand cards. Like, and it's one of those things where like, oh, in my house games, I generally clean up. I generally do fucking well against other people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
But when I started going on like riverboats and playing fucking actual big cash tournaments,
nope.
No, fuck no. Part of it is also I don't have the fucking mindset to actually sit there and grind.
Yeah, no, it's a grind.
Real poker is one in the trenches. Real poker is one when you have shit hands.
Yeah.
And you just can read fucking that the other people don't have shit and you can muscle them. And the psychology of it is much more important than the actual cards in front of you.
Well, that's what I like. That's another thing I really like about Rounders is that when he wins at the end, he doesn't win with a royal flush.
No.
Like there's a lot of movies that treat poker like the skill of poker is being able to draw a royal flush when you really need one.
It's like, oh, I have the nuts. Boom. Yeah. No, real poker is like when you don't have shit and you get the other guy to lay his hand down.
Yeah. Yeah. And, or again, you're playing like these normal poker hands where like 3 of a kind is a great hand, and
it is.
Yeah.
Statistically, depending on how many people are in the hand, that is a great hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But you just, again, I was talking to somebody the other day about Casino Royale, which is a movie I really love.
Oh, I do too.
But it does literally end with like, I think one of them has 4 of a kind and the other one and then Bond lays down a royal flush. And it's like, that's not good poker. That's the most lucky thing that's ever happened.
Statistically impossible.
Yeah.
Statistically. In all the hands of poker I've ever played, I think I have seen 1 royal flush.
Right. No, it's, it doesn't. And again, I think it's easy for people to understand that. But no, I Have you ever seen the James Caan movie, The Gambler?
Oh yeah. Oh no. And the horrible Mark Wahlberg remake.
Horrible Mark Wahlberg remake. That movie is so bad. It's a sin.
It is. John Goodman's great in it.
Yes, that's the one part, and that's what everybody says about the movie because you're grasping for something to say about it. Because Mark Wahlberg is awful, and I say both as a gambling movie and as when he like talks about writing and being a novelist, where it's like, oh, maybe dudes shouldn't read because when dudes read, guys like that had careers, there's just like really deep bullshit about like, yeah, I fucked the 19-year-old and then I smoked a cigarette and then I went to bed. When I woke up, she was gone, or maybe I was, like it's just like horse shit like that. Like that's, and you could tell the guy who made the movie just thought like Mark Wahlberg was the coolest thing on ice, and it's so embarrassing whenever they try and get Mark Wahlberg to play a smart person. It's like, trying to teach a dog math. It's just not working, man. It's not happening. It's like, at least the one where he's a scientist is funny. Or
the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at least that one is so bad that it's funny. But like, this is just like so serious and again, I think they do treat that one like it's where his skill is being lucky. And it's just like, because he's not really playing a lot of poker in that. It's like real just gambling. But like John Goodman's like, I'm going to stake you. And it's like, you don't stake a guy who plays roulette. You stake a poker player.
Well, and with the James Caan version, is he's such a degenerate gambler in that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll beat you in fucking pick up basketball. Like, it's just like, oh, you got a problem. Back to Uncut Gems. That's part of, Adam Sandler's character. It's like, oh, you're an addict.
Yes.
That's what, like, it's so hard for me to watch that movie. It's just like, it's hard to imagine that character ever got any level of success.
Well, we can talk about spoilers, right? People have had their chance to see Uncut Gems. That's what I love about the ending is he dies at the only moment that he's truly happy, which is in the 5 seconds after he wins. And you know that if he had lived another day, he would have fucked it up and blown it all, and he would have ruined it, and it all would have fallen apart. So he dies with a smile on his face because he dies at the only moment that he could actually be happy.
For sure. But you also, like, in the larger scheme of things, like, how did this guy get successful enough to own a jewelry store, have multiple properties, like have the amount of money it took to even run that business? How did he ever make it to that point?
I mean, you have to assume that there's some degrading that has occurred because you are watching a man who like was married, did raise kids, and then has moved to an apartment sometime in the last year or so. So you are watching a guy that is maybe starting to spiral out of, not that he was ever like, husband of the year, but like you do think you're watching a guy like in his final spiral.
There should have been one line of dialogue about him inheriting money.
Yeah.
Like he inherited this shit because otherwise it doesn't make sense that this character ever made it to.
Well, again,
I suspend the disbelief for it because I enjoyed the movie. But on a conscious level, it's like, this guy would have never been able to keep enough money to be able to open a jewelry store.
Well, no, I agree with you. And I do think that is the thing about the Safdie brother movies in general is that they get by on atmosphere and tone and speed, which I love. That's totally valid. But when you slow it down at all, you do go, wait, he owes that guy like $100,000 and he owns a jewelry store. Yep. There's $100,000 worth of jewelry in that jewelry store. You show the diamond encrusted Furby. So like, where there is a disconnect in the movie in that way. And you're totally right about that. And again, it's just like, yeah, whatever. It's super fun though.
It's a fun movie. It's just, but what took me, as I said, it took me back for a second. It's just like, it's hard to suspend disbelief that this guy would have ever even been this successful. Literally, there should have just been one line dialogue like, I inherited this.
Yeah. No, and again, like I love their movies, but Good Time has a moment that I know a lot of people check out of the movie. It's just when he rescues the wrong guy from the hospital because there's another guy who's totally bruised who looks just like his brother, and he rescues and it's such a huge like buy. And I'll take it because I like the movie, but it's like, yeah, it's a plot hole. But again, like plot holes are fine. There's a real internet thing again, like about like that any plot hole means the movie sucks. But I'm like you. It's just like okay, that didn't work, but keep going. Right. I'm having a good time here.
Yeah, I'm here to be entertained, not
Yeah.
build a puzzle.
Yes. Or like to watch things with like this like eagle eye of like that logic is the most important thing, and it's like, guys, that's not right. Like,
if you're doing sci-fi, I disagree.
Oh, if it's hard sci-fi, like if it is presenting itself as
as long as I'll accept anything, as long as it sticks with its internal logic.
Well, yes.
If it starts contradicting its internal logic, it's like, well, I'm checking the fuck out.
Well, I always think like I have that problem with the movie A Quiet Place.
Oh, I hate that movie. I honestly hate that movie. That movie is the smartest dumb people ever put on fucking film.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like I always think like you shouldn't interrogate a film. You should just accept it. But if I'm sitting in the movie theater going like, why don't they live near the waterfall?
It was exactly what I thought. I saw it in the theater. Like, so why don't you live in a van down by the river?
They treat it like this is the first time he's ever taken his son to this place. And you're like, why aren't you there all the time? Here's an idea. Run a wire to a record player up in the hills. And when you get in danger, flip the switch and let the fucking record player play.
All right. Like, or, hey, condom.
I mean, that's the thing is, guys,
Anal.
You did not think this through. You're going to hush up that baby for its life. This baby has to be quiet for its. Now, that's the thing. And I do think like if you are asking those questions or I'm asking those questions at that level, the movie is fucking up. It was a dumb idea. It's one of those pitches where it sounds like cool in a pitch. And apparently a lot of people like the movie. So
they made sequels. They made multiple sequels.
Prequels, I think, recently. Yeah. Because again, everybody was going, but what was the first day like?
Also, that was a thoroughly unenjoyable movie to watch in the theater because I just heard people chewing popcorn.
Oh, right. It is weird that popcorn became the treat for movie theaters because it is not a quiet thing.
No, but like normally in a full theater experience, you don't hear the crunch. In A Quiet Place, it's like, I could count the amount of kernels that person fucking ate. It was just like, this is so distracting. I am not engaged at all because I'm hearing this person chew 2 rows away because there's no audio in my theater experience right now. And it's just like, I'm watching the smartest dumb people ever committed to film.
Yes. Oh, no, I agree. And I just think I tend to have that with indie horror a lot. What was the one where, It Follows?
Never saw that.
Okay, well, that's where there's this thing that goes around and it's killing people and it's going to kill you. But if you fuck somebody, it'll go kill the person you fuck and then it'll come kill you. So
that's truly hate fucking someone.
Well, really.
I'm sorry.
But like, they all, like, nobody in the movie ever talks about it in the way that you or I would talk about it, where you'd be like, okay, so this thing moves on foot. It, like, walks to wherever it kills people. So what you should do is you should take a plane to, like, Asia and fuck somebody who then fucks somebody from Russia who then fucks somebody. Like, you got to make this shit international. This stuff will be walking around the planet for the.
Or how about this? Who's it fuck when we have an orgy?
Yeah.
Who's it kill when we have
an orgy? Let's confuse it.
Right. Like, I fucked 7 people here.
Yeah.
They fucked 8 people. Like, who are you coming from, dog?
Who are you coming for? Like, because it's such a dumb idea. It's just such a dumb idea for a monster movie. And again, people loved it. And I think people like the atmosphere because whatever. But
atmosphere will get you far.
It really will. And sometimes it'll get you all the way there. But like, I occasionally find myself asking those kind of questions. And that means you're not having a good time if you're asking.
Right. And also, does it kill someone if it gives me a handy?
Well, that, again, great question. Great question.
Like, what does it have to be penetrative sex? Is it like God? Does it not count anal?
Right. Does it not count anal or a condom? Yeah. Does a condom count?
Dental dam. If I used a dental dam.
That's it.
Because no one uses those.
I was going to say, I've lived a long life. I've never seen a dental dam in real life.
I've seen one. I've never used one.
Nice.
I've never seen one in use. I've seen them in a package.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, bless, but like.
Well, it was the 90s. They thought everything would give you AIDS.
Yeah. Boy, we walked around in a state of fear back then, man.
Oh, 100%. I've said this on air before. The first time I willingly had unprotected sex, I had a couple condoms break on me. Mm-hmm. But like the first time I willingly had unprotected sex, I freaked out and was like, I'm going to die now.
We all thought we were going to die.
Yeah. No. Sex ed in the 90s was convince you if you're like, if you don't put a rubber on, you're dead.
You're dead. Do we need to show you Angels in America again? Because we will. Yeah. Do we need to show you the band played on Philadelphia? Like every musical, we'll show them to you.
You'll die.
And like I was in Springfield, Missouri. I'm sure somebody in Springfield, Missouri had AIDS, but it was very far away from my high school girlfriend.
Also, the likelihood of transmission as a non-needle sharing heterosexual male, pretty fucking low.
And they really did downplay that fact. Like,
no one mentioned that fact at all.
No, you were taught that it was just all out there, and you know what? It probably saved us some scabies over the years and whatnot. So
possibly a pregnancy scare or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's not like it was like a big, sin that we all used condoms for the most part back then. But.
No, but it definitely negatively impacted a relationship where like I psychologically couldn't handle that, like we were getting in and she's like, just put it in me, and my horny ass just put it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I came was like, oh, I'm gonna die now. And she's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. She's like, I'm not shooting up, buddy.
Like we just fucked. We've been fucking. What is the fuck wrong with you? Public education is what's wrong with me, apparently.
Yeah. Well, public education, but also, again, like all the media we were consuming. It was just that there was disease everywhere, and it was just how we grew up. It was wild.
Yeah.
And then Eazy-E died, and it seemed like, well, there you go. I mean, God knows what he was up to. I mean,
good times, apparently.
Good times. But again, that was just, well, there you go. It can happen to anybody.
No one gets AIDS by being boring.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Oh man.
Well, that's a lie. I have a friend's family member who got HIV in the 80s from a blood transfusion, but
yeah.
Most people don't get AIDS from being boring. not as good of a catchphrase.
No, it's really not. It's I was terrified.
Oh no, I thought AIDS was going to be much more prevalent in my life than it ever is. Yeah. I don't think I actually know. That's a lie. I do know some people that are undetectable at this point who do have HIV. But it's like they're not friends and they're acquaintances, and I had like 2 of them of all the people I've met in my life.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, it's definitely like it's a real disease that, like, although PrEP and stuff helps, it's such a different disease than also a different disease than when we were growing.
Oh yeah, it's not a death sentence anymore.
Yeah, but it's
a financial one.
But yeah, they were not like breaking down the real science when we were kids. They were just like, use a condom, use a condom,
now.
Not the worst advice I ever heard, and if it stopped me from there's a few people I'm very glad I did not make pregnant in this life.
I'm very happy I've not made anyone I've ever had sex with pregnant.
Oh, same. And as far as I know, and yes,
no one's come for child support that I can't pay.
Well, and I've been living a pretty boring life for long enough that I'm pretty sure I'm out of that jungle. At this point, they'd be above the age of 18 with somebody I don't know, and so
you could be a grandfather you don't know.
Well, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I never even thought about that. That'll keep me up at night. I don't think I'd feel the same way about that. So this is my grandkid?
Yeah. Like child I didn't know about it, and this is my grandchild.
That's some heavy shit, man. I don't yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm just gonna let that drift back out the other ear.
Let's not put that into the ether.
No, I mean, that shit happens. I guess it probably happens less than it used to. I think because we aren't cut off from each other as much anymore.
Well, I know that's the weird part of modern society. Like in our parents' generation, you broke up with someone, they were gone.
They were gone.
You cut contact. You never had to speak to them again. These days, TikTok actively goes, "Hey, your ex-girlfriend is a contact in your phone. Would you like to friend her?"
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't know why. It's like every 3 days or so, TikTok is just like, this, your ex-girlfriend, she's a contact in your phone. Would you like to friend her? I'm like, why are you only recommending this person TikTok? Why are you only recommending my ex-girlfriend? I don't know if she is just stalking the one social media I haven't blocked her on.
Uh-huh.
And TikTok's like, well, you two know each other. I don't know. I blocked her on fucking everything except TikTok because TikTok wasn't really actively in use when we broke up.
There's probably 5 dead people in my phone. If I thought about it, if I went through my contacts.
Oh, probably more than that.
Well, maybe 10. I don't know. But it just occurs to me that number is going to change someday. And someday I'm just going to have this long list of dead people, assuming I'm not one of the dead ones. I'm just gonna have a long list of dead people in my phone, and because you never clean that thing out.
No,
you just keep this thing forever now. Now and it's probably not the real numbers anymore or anything, but like,
well, I have the awkward thing of like girls I meet in bars, their first name in bar I met them at.
Oh yeah,
in my phone. So like as they start dying, I'm like, oh, what year did I meet her at?
Oh, Rebecca Musso and Frank's. That's, she was a good one.
You think I'm meeting girls at classy places like Musso's?
I don't know where. Look, again, like I've been sober now for 15 years. I don't even know what happens in bars anymore. I just
alcohol consumption.
Well, sure. I just mean I have no idea where you would go. Like places that are places people go to drink and meet people are not, where I ever wind up anymore. So
not even for research.
No, I mean, not really for that. There's, I've done a lot of stuff for research in the last couple of years. I actually started doing some night crawling. I bought a police scanner, and I went down to South Central and just drove around at nights and kind of just get a feel for it. And which, by the way, is illegal. It's illegal to have a police scanner in a moving vehicle in Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And they say it's to prevent bank robberies and stuff like that, but it's just, they don't want people listening in and being able to hear what they're doing.
You would think the police would be on encrypted channels in 2025 anyways.
Well, most of them are. There's still a couple of live ones here in Los Angeles. By the way, that should be illegal. We should be able to hear what they're doing. They shouldn't be able to encrypt that stuff. But anyway, I did do it, and I saw some interesting stuff. I was with my buddy Adam Frost, who's another novelist, and we were down in South Central, and there was a shooting, just a guy brandishing a gun. He didn't even shoot it at the Popeyes down in South Central, and we just happened to hear it on the police scanner, and then look up, there was the Popeyes, and there was the truck, and so we started to follow him, and he was going kind of fast, and I wasn't on his ass, I was pretty far back, but we started to see the chopper coming up, in the air and with the spotlight with the night sun on its belly. And he turned down kind of a smaller side street. And again, we were a half block behind him and the helicopter started coming. We started to hear the sirens going. I was so ready. I was like, when is Adam going to brake? Because I don't want to brake.
Oh, you're the passenger?
No, I'm driving, but I don't want to be the one who brakes. I'm like, come on, Adam. Come on, Adam, brake. Come on, Adam, brake. I don't want to keep doing this. And he found, hey, do you think we should be doing this? I'm like, no, we probably shouldn't, you pussy, and turned away.
This is why men live shorter lifespans than women, because there was no woman there to tell both of you idiots to get the fuck out of there.
It's true. But, again, this is I've done ride-alongs. I won't do them anymore because I've seen some bad cops, and it really bummed me out to witness something and not feel like I could say anything. Because when you're in the backseat of a cop car while in the front seat, cops ruining a kid's life, you don't say shit. At least I didn't.
Unless you wanted your life ruined too.
Yeah, no, I watched a cop write a kid $3,000 worth of traffic tickets. We were down in Compton, and there was a street race going on, and cop turned on his sirens and everybody ran, and he got behind this car, not one of the racers, one of the kids who was just watching the race, and he got on the kid's ass and he turned on his sirens, and the kid panicked and he pulled into an oncoming off-ramp, but immediately saw what he was, he wasn't running. He pulled into it, pulled out, and pulled over. And for that, the cop wrote him $3,000 worth of tickets. And then when the kid got out, it was his mom's car, and the kid got out of the car, and the cop goes, Mom's going to lose the car over this. It's just you motherfucker, you just did this. And again, I didn't say shit. But I didn't like being in a position where I couldn't say shit. So I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't be in this position because it was really ugly. But I did stuff like that. I went down, about the Blade? The Figueroa Blade. That is the open air. That's the largest open air sex worker location in Los Angeles. Is Figueroa down in South Central. It's 6 or 7 blocks long.
Yeah, I mean, I've accidentally driven through there.
Yeah. That's the Blade. They call it the Blade. And I find it fascinating because you think that world is over now, and it looks exactly like it did in the 80s.
Well, that world was over until Backpages would close down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They brought it back, and
yeah, because sex work's not going anywhere.
Well, of course not. No, and that people complain about it. I'm sure it's not fun to live near the Blade. I'm sure it's not fun, but it's got to be someplace. I'm sorry, it's got to be someplace.
It's the world's oldest profession. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not going anywhere. And I mean, I'm sure so much more about this than I do. But the amount of clamp down on all of this shit is. Again, who gives a fuck? This bullshit about trafficking, not that there's no trafficking in the world, but again, it's a thing that is this problem over here that they use to and I know you know all of this, but they use to trash the livelihoods of millions of people. And there's still just this morality of people towards this stuff by the consumers of it. Like they're all consumers of it.
It's because people like to point with one hand and masturbate with the other.
That's good. I like that.
It's people have too much fucking time on their hands. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be giving a fuck about what two consensual adults do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's nothing illegal about me taking a woman to $100 dinner.
Right.
But if I were to hand her that money directly, subtract the dinner, and it still resulted in us having sexual intercourse, that is now a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it logically, everyone pays for sex.
Well, yeah. And just all, again, like the problems people want to point out are problems that we could mitigate with society if we gave a fuck about these women.
Oh, for sure. Because if you decriminalize sex work, women could actually go report actual abusive shit. But because they're criminals as well, they can't.
Oh, yeah. No, they can't. And even if they do, they are treated like absolute fucking garbage. And, police treat like sexual assault of these people like, well, that's the price you pay.
A good example of that is there are allegations against an industry agent that just came out about a sexual assault.
Okay.
And the Las Vegas Metro Police said there's not enough evidence to prove it wasn't consensual. And then on top of it, told the person, the alleged victim, you should find a different line of work.
Oh.
Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. It's one thing to say, hey, there's not enough evidence here to bring forth rape charges.
Yes.
It's a whole nother thing to be like, you're a sex worker. You should find another line of work if you're not down with this. That's so fucked.
It's completely fucked. And it comes back. It's the same thing with that cop writing those traffic tickets. I have a defense attorney who's giving me advice about this new book because one of my main characters is a defense attorney. And he said, the first thing you have to understand about the law is that it's not real. And, that the law is just words and it's all enforced by human beings. And all those human beings are allowed to make decisions about when they do and when they don't. All of them are. And then we treat it like it's objective at all. And it's absolutely not. It's not fair. It's not objective. And again, I know this is not like mind-blowing stuff. And particularly, I assume that not only you don't just interview people who work in the sector. I'm sure you have people who listen to it, which this must all sound very 101 to them. But it's, the way law is practiced and enforced in this country is so fucked up, and there's no clearer example of it than the way we treat sex crimes. Like, I mean, there's almost nothing to say about it. Like, it's awful. I do have sex workers in my new book. I have high-end escorts, and I need to. I should probably find one to talk to because I
can introduce you to some people.
Okay, no, I would really like that because I do like to have people read stuff and just tell me. Particularly, you want to find out the things that drive them nuts. Like, oh, please don't do this, please don't do that. Like, this happens in everything, and also just lingo, things like that. Just like the kind of things that I never know about.
Well, as of time of recording, the episode that is out this week is with one of the most successful brothel workers in America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I can make that intro.
Oh yeah, no, that would be really useful. That's all in Las Vegas still, right? Or Nevada. Pahrump.
Because you can't have a brothel in a county that has so much population in it.
Okay.
It has to be rural counties.
Fascinating. It's interesting that that's the one thing they really can't figure out how to take mainstream because, we have all these drugs, pharmaceuticals that people abuse. We were talking about the gambling has all been corporatized and put online, but they still aren't doing it with pornography or sex work. Not really. There's not there's not an Uber. There's not a you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's because we're still a puritanical society at the end of the day.
Again, I know who I'm talking to here when I say this, but as somebody who writes extreme violence and doesn't write a lot of sex scenes in my book, I have a lot of sex scenes in this new book, and it's very difficult. I was surprised because I can write the most disgusting violence you've ever read, but I'm writing these sex scenes and I'm like, do I say dick or do I say cock? Just these real basic things that I don't ever ask about anything else, but it's because I carry around this this puritanical thing that I don't think of myself as puritanical, but you live in America, it's in you somewhere. Do you know what I
for
mean?
Sure. Nipples are bad. Nipples. Oh my God, I saw her tits. You saw the different color melanin on a mound of fat. Think about this objectively. Is that really that bad?
No, but when you put it like that, it also isn't that good. and I kind of like them being good.
Oh no, I
I know what you mean, but
I like them being good too. It's horrible. It's just like because every once in a while I step back and like, why am I doing such stupid things over my biological need to procreate when I don't want to procreate?
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing is that desire is only loosely coupled to procreation. It's attached to it, but like there's a lot of stuff going on there. There is not an objective science going on when you're whatever turns you on, whatever doesn't. There's no logic to that, man.
Oh, absolutely not. It's just sometimes you're like, oh, horny, want to do the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And no, it's a terrible burden a lot of the times too.
Oh no, I have joked and thought about multiple times like, man, how much would I get done if I was asexual?
Yeah.
If I didn't give a fuck about like wanting human need comfort or to impress women, like how successful would I be in this world? Fuck.
Well, I mean, like, Freud literally says like that creative energy and a lot of that stuff is literally just your sex drive being sublimated into other things, which I think there's some validity to. You have psychic energy and you got to put it somewhere, and you do have more energy in all of your activities when you're also at the kind of the crest of being horny. So
true. But I also very much feel like if I was in a happy, stable relationship, I would get so much less done.
Well, I mean, I understand. I am in one, and there's a lot of things that you take on when you do that.
I'm also not that disciplined. So like the fact that you're like, well, I wake up before my partner wakes up and I write. I'm not that disciplined.
Well, I don't know. Like, I literally discovered it during the pandemic. Like, and it happens. I don't set an alarm. Like, I wake up at 5. Today, I woke up at 5:40.
Oh, you slack.
I know I slept in. Because I hate the sensation of waking up with an alarm, which means I go to bed pretty early. And because that's the trade-off. Because once Megan starts her day, she likes to come in and talk to me, and so I tend to kind of lose some steam once she's awake. And I just kind of learned that if I could get all my writing done, because really, if you write from 5 to 8 and you really work that's a good writing day. If you can go longer than that, great. But if you can't, that's a good writing day. And I wrote Everybody Knows, my novel, Everybody Knows, I wrote mostly during the pandemic from 5 to 8. And I just learned that was when I was unencumbered by a job. I was very fortunate that I sold a pilot right before the pandemic started. So I had like a cushion of money, and it got me through the pandemic, and I was able to just write. And that's again where I started to really realize that's what I wanted to do, and that TV was something that could be fun. But I was so fucking sick of the fucking assholes. You can't imagine the kind of asshole. Oh, you can't imagine.
Oh, I definitely can.
Yeah. I mean, you've met assholes, but like it really is. It's just as bad as they present it, and it's worse than it used to be. And we all kind of in television. Again, nobody needs to weep for me over this, but we were all making good money making network TV, and then cable happened, and people voluntarily took pay cuts in order to work on cooler shit. Because again, you don't need as much money as you make writing network TV. And so people made that choice. And then what they did was that once enough people had made the choice to take the pay cut to make cool shit, they said, great, by the way, we're not making cool shit anymore. So you're still taking the pay cut. So somebody who works on an Amazon show does not make as much money as somebody who works on Blue Bloods. And the trade-off was supposed to be artistic fulfillment. And they've rug pulled that.
Of course.
Yes, of course. And again, in retrospect, it's like, oh yeah, we're fucking idiots for ever thinking that art was going to succeed.
Well, this is why artists need management.
Well, yes. Oh, yes. And bless my team. They've helped me out a lot, but but when it's this industry-wide rug pull, and the one thing I have learned is the only power you have is the power to say no, to walk, to not take projects. When David Lynch wanted to make season 3 of Twin Peaks, which is as close to art as you get in television, and he said, this is how much money I need. And they said no. And he said, then I'm not going to do it. And he walked because he knew you cannot make Twin Peaks without David Lynch. And he's like, and I'm not going to, if it's not what I like, I'm not going to do it. He made that one movie Dune where it was like him selling out and he fucking hated it. He's like, well, I'm never doing that again. So if you're not going to give me the money I need, we don't need to do Twin Peaks. And he walked, and they came to him and said, you get the money. And that's the only way you can do it. It helps to be David Lynch.
Right. You have to be a eccentric mega talent.
Yes. That helps a lot. But, you do have to kind of figure out that it's like we were saying, eating the shit doesn't get you to the place that people tell you it gets you to.
Oh, absolutely not.
It just gets you to a bigger table of shit.
Here's your giant bowl.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah, you ate that last bowl real good. We're real proud of you. Next time we'll let you run the show for sure. Next time we'll let you be an artist. But this time you might need to just go ahead and eat this bowl of shit again.
Here's a napkin.
Yeah.
You got a little on your chin.
Yeah. And so it is ugly and people got to figure out how to make money off cool shit again. There used to be, you paid for cable and you paid a little bit extra if you wanted HBO because HBO did cool shit. And people gladly paid it because they did Deadwood and they did,
Well, they also had comedy specials that they had a lot of unique programming.
Yes. And so that was for people who were willing to pay a little bit more. And that's why it's never made sense to me that when Max became a streaming service, they just threw HBO on there. They could have charged $5 extra to get HBO and people would have paid. I would have paid it if it meant they were going to keep making cool shit. And instead they just glop it on with everything else. And so it's like, The Sopranos are right next to like My Octuplet Mama. And
The Sopranos is leaving Max in like a month or so, right?
No, is that true?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Is it just The Sopranos or all of those classic shows?
Just The Sopranos as far as I know.
Okay. I do buy things. I do have a giant Blu-ray sets. I like owning physical media is a good idea.
You've seen around the
Oh yeah, no, I know you do it too. But it's like important because this shit goes away. Man.
Oh yeah, no, you cannot find Dream On
anywhere.
Yeah.
You have to First and 10.
Dream On was like HBO's first show, though.
Yeah, I know. They did that, and then they did the football show with Shannon Tweed, First and 10.
Yeah.
And no, they don't put those on. You can't find Bangin' in Little Rock. You can't find Hookers on the Point. All of those great, really
real sex,
all that stuff is gone now. I don't think they have all the George Carlin specials on Max. No, it all goes away, and so you gotta own it in whatever way you can because and that's why again there's a great culture of Blu-ray people who are turning all sorts of stuff onto Blu-rays and 4Ks, and
I have the entire run of Oz.
That's a fun show.
I haven't watched it in so long, but I was obsessed with it when it came.
I was too. I will say it has aged poorly in some ways.
Oh, I'm sure it has.
They made it for $3 and they were really trying to do stuff.
But so many great actors got their start there. Half the Wire cast came from Oz.
Oh, absolutely.
J.K. Simmons was amazing on that.
He was so good. He was so good. Him and the guy who's now just the insurance salesman.
Dean Winters.
Dean Winters, who I love.
On my 30th birthday, he just happened to be in the punk rock bar I was celebrating my 30th birthday on to score cocaine. Apparently. And just Dean Winters, what are you doing? He was just drinking. I'm like, oh, Ryan O'Reilly's my favorite character on Oz. Let me do a shot with you. He's like, he's my favorite character too.
That's good. I love it when they're cool.
No, he was super cool. But it was why are you in a divey metal bar in Chicago? He was there for an Allstate gig. That's why.
That's why.
Their headquarters in suburban Chicago.
I bet he has done very well that's the thing is Dean Winters probably never really was rich until those Allstate commercials.
Oh yeah, because he was a series regular on Oz.
Yeah, but that wasn't that's not Beverly Hills Porsche money,
No, that was never life-changing money for anyone. I mean, relatively everyone on that show was unknown.
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson was the only person of any note.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And and Rita Moreno.
Yeah, Rita Moreno. But Chris Miliani, had a huge career afterwards.
Yeah. He was great too.
J.K. Simmons has obviously had a huge career afterwards.
Yeah. But I will say, they did a lot of experimental photography and things like that that has not aged well.
No, they tried a lot of shit, but fuck, it was art.
Yeah. They were fucking pushing envelopes, and they were out there, and it was raw. We really do live in a conservative era for art now. If you go, you do watch Oz now, you'll be like, oh my god, you could not. Nothing is
the amount of penises, the amount of anal sex, gay sex, forcible gay, rape,
the violence, just the tone of it. That's the thing I fight a lot about in Hollywood is. I have learned if I have to write something where people don't swear, I can do that. I don't care about swearing. If it's not totally graphic violence, okay, I can do that. But I need a really nasty rock and roll tone to what I do. And I find that's what tends to make people really uncomfortable in Hollywood. Is not the portraying of violence, because my God, you can put anything on TV. And if it's done in the right context, they won't blink.
Yeah, as long as there's not sex involved.
Right, as long as there's not sex involved, as long as it's the idea of it's a demented serial killer doing it. Again, you watch these network police procedurals and the level of violence that you will see on it, the level of dead bodies that you will see, well, this is the guy who skins all the corpses and then hangs the skin over their dead body. So you see both their skin and their dead body. Like you see stuff like that all the time. But yeah, not a nipple though.
Ooh.
No.
Oof. Whoa.
And again, it always has to take place in a context where, don't worry, everybody, we're going to catch this killer by the end of this episode. Like,
on Dragnet.
Yes. Yeah. And that, though, it's those tones, it's that pushing on these ideas, again, like I write cop shows. When I have tried to write cop shows, I've tried to write them like The Shield, where it's very nasty and it does not take a good view of policing. That's what my politics are. And that's what freaks people out. It's not the violence, it's not the sex, it's not the language, it's the tone and the attitude. And we are living in a deeply conservative era.
Well, I saw I don't know if it was a skeet or a tweet from you a couple days ago where like the test audience is like Dudley Smith.
Yes.
Murdering a guy violently with a knife because he was a cop who got shit done.
Yeah, when I did my LA Confidential pilot, and Tony Curran, great actor, played Dudley Smith in my show. And at the end of it, he's literally got a guy tied to a chair, and to ask him questions, he sticks a knife in his femoral artery, and he's like, we have to take this knife out of you. We can either do it here or at the hospital. That's up to you. If we take it out here, you're going to die. So why don't you tell me where the drugs are? And then the guy tells him where the drugs are, and he goes, great, thanks. And he pulls the knife out, and the guy bleeds out and dies. And then he turns to his buddy and goes, well, let's find that heroin. That dialogue was better in this, but let's find that heroin and let's sell it so we can make money. And yes, and there were people in the test audience who literally were like, I like that guy. He's a no-nonsense cop who does what he has to do. And man, you cannot make art that everybody understands. That's part of the gig.
Test audiences are the devil.
It's a really bad idea, especially, so what they do, or at least what CBS did when I did LA Confidential, is they did their test audiences in Las Vegas, in downtown Las Vegas, under the theory, untested, that is where you find a great collection of different kinds of Americans. I would say that is a self-selecting group in downtown Las Vegas. That is not the full rainbow of humanity.
No, you should have done Columbus, Ohio, like the fast food chains do.
Yes. And like there was literally a drunk woman in one of mine, like a visibly drunk woman who complained that the show was complex and she couldn't understand it. And it's like, well, I will admit I did not write it for the visibly drunk.
Right for me?
Sorry, dude. But
I'm hurt.
I know. But like, no, it's a terrible idea. I think, again, there's like David Lynch used test audiences, but he did it for himself and he took what he wanted to take out of it. It's when you treat it as not, well, here's what people said.
This is the gospel.
But this is the gospel. This is what America will think of your show. And when you do it like that, it's a fucking stupid idea. And so much of a Hollywood executive's job is not to make television. Your job is not what it says on your card. Your job is what you have to do to not get fired, right? And their job as an executive is to diffuse responsibility away from themselves so that when the failure occurs, they can say, well, it's not my fault. We tested it. It's not my fault.
We mitigated risk.
Yes, we mitigated risk. We hired the best actors, the best people. Well, not the best actors. I'm sorry. Did I just say they hired the best actors? They didn't hire the best actors. They hired the most famous actors. They will make
the best actors for the budget.
Well, no, not even the best, because the budgets are huge. It's not that. They will pitch you people based on their Instagram followers. It's heartbreaking.
It's just something you could just purchase.
Well, yes, and you're just like the guys. I swear that television has worked for 60 years, and what it does is it makes famous people. Huh. Like all your favorite TV shows, the people who started them weren't famous when the show started for the most part.
Jennifer Aniston did Leprechaun?
Yes, exactly. That entire cast was nobodies. James Gandolfini had been in a couple of cool movies, but like...
He was in Get Shorty, his bear.
Yeah, well, he was in True Romance. He's amazing in True Romance.
His foot shot.
Yeah, well, with the wine, it's the wine cork.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Bottle opener, yep. Yeah. No, but like I didnidn't rememn't that when I watched.
I didn't remember him being Bear. I didn't remember him any of those roles.
And if they, I didn't come up with this. I saw somebody say this, that if they had known the Sopranos were going to be the Sopranos, they never would have let James Gandolfini done it. It would have been like Andy Garcia or something. And then it wouldn't have been the Sopranos. It wouldn't have been nearly as good. And because you have to TV doesn't use stars, it makes them. Like that's what it's beautiful about it. And then the trade-off for that for actors is once you have a big role like that in television, you're kind of done. Like Gandolfini was acting after The Sopranos, but like he was Tony Soprano.
You ever see The Drop?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Tom Hardy, James Gandolfini. It's a mob movie. It's really good.
Really good. Oh, I'll watch that. I know. I'm saying he did good.
I think it's Gandolfini's last role.
Oh, okay. I'll look that. I mean, he's in Killing Them Softly, which is a movie I really like.
I didn't care for it.
No, I get it. I get it.
I wanted to like it.
It has lumpy elements to it, I will say, but there are things about it I really like, and I think he's really good in it. But I'm just saying that's like the trade-off that you make because you're not famous before you take the gig. You kind of become that character, but that's what TV is good for as opposed to movies in a lot of ways.
Some people make the transition, some people never.
Yeah.
Get away from television.
No, there is a difference between a TV star and a movie star too. Like that is just a fact. And there are not a whole lot of movie stars right now.
No.
Because again, I think the kind of guys who, and women, but like I'm just thinking about guys here, like James Caan. James Caan wouldn't become an actor today. Like there's no path for Robert Mitchum to become an actor today. Like,
how many great performances we missed out on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, millions because, and it's, by the way, it's why when you hire tough guys in Hollywood, you tend to hire Australians or Englishmen because there's not a system for like that kind of guy to really make it. Where did they start nowadays? You know, you're not doing cowboy pictures. You're not doing war pictures. You're not having these farm systems for these like kind of rough and tumble type of guys.
Well, and also if you book Mickey Rourke, you might go back to really boxing. Like, and fuck up his face.
Fuck up his face. But again, yeah, Mickey Rourke wouldn't become an actor today, you know? And there are some guys that I like, but they're not those kind. There's no Robert Mitchums walking around right now, you know? I mean, hardly.
Well, and occasionally they'll try to book people like, we'll put Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. And then,
I will say, out of my deep respect for Patrick Swayze, I did not watch the new.
Oh, I did.
It's
not good.
I just, you know, I got into an argument with somebody the other day about it. My brother, he was like, well, you should watch it. He's like, it's not good, but neither was the first one. I was like, woo. It's one of the best bad movies in the world.
Oh, the first one's entertaining. The new one is not.
Well, and truly, like Patrick Swayze was a movie star. Sam Elliott is so charismatic in that movie. And Jake Gyllenhaal has talents. I really like Nightcrawler. I think there's things he does well, but charisma is not what I think of when I think of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, the problem is the plot's even worse than the original.
Oh.
There's a lot of Conor McGregor just playing Conor McGregor on cocaine, which I think he wasn't acting.
Yeah.
It felt like he was just.
I mean, he's not supposed to be the best fella on the planet. He's not up for this new Pope job, you know, that's.
Well, he might be. You don't have to be a good person to be the Pope.
Well, that's a good point too. Fair point.
I don't think anyone wasn't one of the recent popes in our lifetime a member of the Hitler Youth.
He was, yeah. I think those Pope John Paul was, I think, a member.
Yeah, so
I mean, what are you bringing up old shit for, you know?
Oh yeah, sorry. That's a past. Don't think about that.
No, we don't look at the past. No.
Yeah, definitely can't think of saying things that will get me demonetized. I can't say what the 88 stands for and keep my monetization on this episode. It's probably long gone, but
that's what I like to do. I like to come into podcasts and demonetize them through saying outrageous shit. Huh?
I do it myself all the time.
I'm sure you do. This is the thing I'm just learning about, again, because it's not really my world. And I know this is not like the podcast you do, but all these people who won't say certain words and come up with really cutesy, unalived and things like
porn.
What's corn instead of, yeah.
Instead of porn, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why did I pause there? We're not saying porn on this show.
Well, for all my social media clips, I definitely change it to corn.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm will bury it otherwise.
That's insane.
It is.
That's just, and yet you can find out why it's, woke's fault that the most recent movie bombed. That gets fed to you just happily.
Right. To objectively talk about pornography.
Yeah.
And I have to call it corn.
Corn.
It's stupid.
There's nothing more overdone than a George Orwell reference, but that is pretty Orwellian in a basic way of literally eliminating language as a means of eliminating bad thoughts. It's that's literally what 1984 was about. And it's embarrassing. We live in an embarrassing times. It's just embarrassing. It's nobody's best is getting up there.
Well, and the best part is there's a good percentage of the population who think what we're talking about, what we're standing for, is the embarrassing thing.
Oh, I know. And let them. They're winning. I gotta, I don't like it, but they're doing pretty well these days. Those people over there not liking me, and everything I stand for. They're really having their moment. But the one thing I know you said like this isn't gonna air for months, so who knows what'll be going on by the time people are listening to this in their caves. Fighting it out over the last can of dog food, and because the dogs all got eaten the week before.
Don't eat predators; it's bad.
Yes, but no, I mean whatever is happening can't sustain. And I hear again with what I do and the way the world is, everybody in not just Hollywood publishing too, they really are wanting to go for happy endings, simple ideas, short books. And I just looked at myself and I said, well, I'm counter programming then. I'm counter programming because somebody out there might not be the majority, but somebody wants what I do. Somebody wants dark. Somebody wants smart. Again, I try and write fun books that are also dark and smart. But I've got to do all of them. I can't leave out those two parts. And somebody out there wants it. And that's who you sell to.
Hopefully. And that's what I love about this medium is you can just, there's aren't gatekeepers in there. People can just accept.
Yeah.
It's just accessible.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, if an editor doesn't like your copy, they could just be like, no, I'm not publishing that.
Oh, that's always and even when your book gets published, it's not enough to get published because when my first book, She Rides Shotgun, came out, I had this moment where I went to Barnes and Noble because I was like, I'm going to go look at my book at the bookstore. And I was so full of hope and joy and life, and my book had been published. And I walked in, and the first thought I thought was, there's 1 million books in here. How is anybody ever going to find mine? Because we also live in a glut society, so that there are gatekeepers, and one of those gatekeepers is choosing which way, like the eye of Sauron falls.
Well, that's just marketing.
Well, right, but it's getting harder and harder. Because,
well, that's why you're here.
Well, yes. The works of Jordan Harper are accessible, fun, dark, noir, and everybody loves reading them. But also, because we've gotten rid of critics. Again, this idea.
And tastemakers. We've gotten rid of tastemakers. I never would have thought about this 20 years ago, but being a program director at a radio station was such an important job.
Oh yeah. Because it shows you how to do this and how to get the word out and how to structure it.
But it's not even that. It's like this guy decides.
Yes.
What the public gets
to
hear, and this tastemaker gets to choose what is pumped out to the public, and they may not attach to it, but if they do attach to it, that guy has made someone's career.
Yes. And people were paid huge sums for the ability to kind of have a sense of what would work in that. Because you can kind of ram things down people's throat in this way, but like you do have to have a sense for this is going to hit. But you can shape that audience, again, helping the audience push against the boundaries of their own taste, which is you need somebody to help you do that, which is why, I don't really subscribe to any of the big streaming services. I like Criterion, I like Mubi, I like some of the weirder, darker channels, but like those ones that feel like there's a human being going, hey, here's some movies you might like. I go to Vidiots and I rent movies. I rent Blu-rays. Because it's a real place. Their motto there is be your own algorithm. But the truth is nobody can be their own algorithm. Like you do need people to share with you what they like. And again, talking about like men not reading, there are women who like have giant podcasts who talk about books. I don't know like Joe Rogan doesn't read. If he does, he does not talk about like novels or anything like that.
No, I feel like he would talk about nonfiction stuff. It's also been a long time since I've listened to Rogan on the regular.
Same. It's been really. I stopped listening to him long before he took this turn that he's taken.
Even when I was listening to him on the regular, because he puts out so much content, it would literally be depending on who his guest was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like. I know, like, Reese Witherspoon has a book club. Lots of actresses do. I don't really know anybody who is like a dude who stands up and talks about books.
Oh, I don't either. Hell, I know a porn star who has a book club on her Discord.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Jessica Ryan has a book club.
Oh, so send her my book.
I will.
There are good book podcasts, but I just mean but there's not somebody who's like, who's the closest for like what I do is Anthony Jeselnik. Anthony Jeselnik reads all the time. He reads cool books. I say that because he's talked about my book on his podcast, but he's also mentioned other books that are really cool. So Anthony Jeselnik is actually the closest I can, and he's pretty popular.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But we need more. We need more like guys who can just like kind of be cool, like not role models. 'Cause I'm not talking about behavior, but I'm talking about like literally cool. Like whoever.
Not it.
Not it. Well, no, I'm too old to be cool. But I mean
me.
Well, not. Oh, no, you're just saying not it. I'm saying it can't be me either. Like,
well, that would be inappropriate. You're the author.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
Like read my book. I'm cool.
No, but it's just something I think about just because it just is. The more I look around the world I'm in, the more I just go, yeah, where are the dudes? Like just in bookstores and stuff. And again, I know we have lots of distractions.
Well, they're there. I feel like they're only there to impress women.
Well, but I'm not there to impress women.
Well, but you're not the average consumer.
No, but like again, like people, I think that people don't know the kind of books they could be reading. I think that there's a lot of people out there who could find books if they would.
They're for sure, but the problem I find with reading, and the reason I don't read nearly as much as I used to, is I need instantaneous dopamine hits. I need fast content. I need to really get the reward from a book. It could take weeks, if not months, depending on the book. And with how insanely busy I am at all times, and a lot of this is just my poor time management.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time to devote hours to just sit there and reading a book.
No, and look, I feel that I don't read as much as I used to for all my talk here. I mean, because I'm online, I play Balatro, I write, I do a lot of stuff. But I do find like what has changed for me is I stopped treating it like punishment or something I need to do. And I'm a lot kinder about just letting myself read what I want to read. And when I do that, I tend to like, oh yeah, right. No, actually I love doing this and I don't need to get on fucking Twitter. I mean, that's the thing that depresses me if I think about how many posts, if you lay them all end to end, that I've read War and Peace a dozen times,
Oh, please. No, God, no. I do not need a counter of how much time I have wasted on social media, how much time I have just doom scrolling Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, my algorithm feeds me images of hot girls. Cool. This is not fulfilling really anything.
No, it's really not, by the way. It is a instantaneous but pretty shallow hit of dopamine to see whatever it is that Instagram feeds you. If it's orangutans playing with tigers or like little babies, or I have tons of people cooking things, and every once in a while you'll stop on one thing that like you don't care about, but you just like your thumb slips or you just don't, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, here's a dozen clips of toddlers with Down syndrome singing songs, and it's like, man, I don't know what I did to bring this storm on me, but I guess I just have to make sure I scroll extra fast past those until the storm passes.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
All the extra chromosomes.
Oh, somewhere there's a file on you. Like not a file with like your name, but there's like a number that is attached to your Instagram account. And there is so much weird data that you would never think about yourself that like,
oh, it knows I like big titted redheads.
Well,
it knows.
Okay, well, yeah, it can figure stuff like that out. But like, I like the TV show RuPaul's Drag Race, and so for a while, Instagram thought I was gay, and I got fed a lot of gay stuff, but I didn't really linger on the stuff that wasn't about RuPaul's Drag Race. And Instagram goes, oh, okay, he just likes the show. He's not gay, and not that was a problem. I just like. It always throws this weird stuff at you, and
because it wants to see what sticks.
It wants to see what sticks, and some stuff. It turns out I do love watching people cook really unhealthy food that I will never eat.
Why would you never eat it?
Well, I mean, there's a level of food that like I think is fun to watch, but I like where it's like it's a burger and then a piece of cheese and then another burger and then some bacon and then a pork chop and then and it's just like just gross, but like it's
take a bite. Have a little.
I'll have it, actually, I'm this might not stick. I've stopped eating red meat.
Why?
Well, truth is, my dog died, and I just thought, you know what? I think I'm just not going to eat like animals for a little while because I'm just kind of fucked up about it, or at least not animals with like faces and personalities.
But your dog would have loved that. Like,
well, I know he would have, but he doesn't have a choice.
Right, but to honor him, you should eat things that have faces.
Something that he would eat. No, and I'm not saying it's gonna. I don't know if I'll stick with it or not, but it's something. This is such a tedious thing to talk about. Like the way we do meat in America.
Oh no, factory farming is fucking gross. I am a hardcore meat eater. Factory farming is fucking gross. I've talked about this recently on podcast. When I was in Cuba in 2017, our hosts were like, "Hey, we would like to have a pig roast for you." I wake up Sunday morning. There's a live pig in the courtyard.
By the way, I would eat that. I'm not like that. That's cool,
right? And they're like, "Who wants the honor of stabbing the pig?" And I'm like, "I'll do it." My only regret from that situation is the pig did not go quietly into the night because I fucked it up.
Yeah, that's what I thought of when you volunteer. It's like I like the idea of volunteering, but I could see.
Well, it was like one of those. I'm not thrilled about butchering an animal.
Yeah,
but I very much feel like it's dishonest with myself if I'm like, I only eat meat that comes nicely shrink wrapped or prepared for me.
Yes,
like I need to see how the sausage is made if I'm going to be honest about continuing to eat meat.
Well, and that's again, and it might not stick. I don't know, but I've lived with that conflict where I do think, and I've been a pig roast like that where the pig is killed in front of you, and it's hardcore, but maybe it should be hardcore.
Yeah, you are taking another thing's life.
Yes,
to give you substance.
Yeah,
you should be honest about that.
Yes, and I do think that like a lot of my eating red meat in America through factory farming is done with sort of like, I know it's wrong, but I'm doing it anyway. And I just, again, it might not stick.
It tastes so good.
It does taste good, but like I just kind of got to a place of like, I don't know if I want that feeling in me right now, that feeling of like, I know it's wrong, but I'm going to do it because I just feel like that's powering a lot of the world right now.
I feel like for myself, I do consume a lot of red meat, but I don't consume enough to stop the factory. So
I understand that.
I don't want that cow to die in vain. Like it suffered. I might as well, make use of the suffering. It's like when I was in Japan. Like I would have eaten whale because it's already been whaled.
First chapter, or one of the first chapters of my new book is a bunch of guys eating whale, not because they're Japanese, but just because they want like the joy of the violation of seeing what it tastes like. Because to us, it is a violation. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not Japanese, I don't know, man.
I was in. I think it was Shibuya in 2016, like walked by a place that was like horse and whale sashimi. And we didn't make it back to that place. I did have horse sashimi last time I was there.
Yeah.
But I still haven't done whale. And it's just like, whale's already been whaled.
No, I mean, I understand that logic, but I just, and again, it might not stick. I've only been like doing it for 2 weeks, and I just wanted to see what it was like, because I like meat a lot, and I was like, well, what if I didn't?
But factory farming for grains also kills a lot of ground nesting birds. And
Sure. But it is not the horrific agony that we do to.
No, it kills them pretty quick.
Yeah, that's it. Because
ground nesting birds are just ground up.
The Taylor Sheridan argument is not totally sound there. And again, I'm not doing this to be like a cop or anything. It's just a choice I made. Like, and I might not stick to it. But
you're not going out and killing the cows in cold blood with planting evidence on them. Whoa, wait a minute.
Right, I'm planting stakes on people.
I'll sign up for that. Ribeye, please.
Mm-hmm.
No, at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your choice. I don't actually care. I
know you.
It's just I have to, like, contractually, with my secret underground, cattle farming money.
Well, by the way, that's another fascinating. Do you remember when Oprah Winfrey said some unpleasant things about beef, and the beef industry like went berserk and like went after her with lawyers, and she ended up doing like an apology episode? And you talk about like a sleeping giant we don't talk about.
Oh, the agricultural industry. Like, you can't film in slaughterhouses. It's illegal.
Yeah. Because they know that we would, if we saw it, we would like
lose some taste for it.
We lose some taste for it. And again, that's the thing that I'm thinking about. And again, it is connected to like my dog died, but like, it's specifically that, as opposed to the taking the pig out and like going, thanks for this. And
I didn't thank him. I just did the thing.
Well, you should have thanked him. Say thank you. He might have said you're welcome. You would.
Oh no, I tried to pet him when he was in the courtyard. He freaked out.
Well, but did you? Because you didn't say thank you.
Well, no. This is before the violence was involved. Like he was just typing the court. Well, he was just typing the courtyard. I'm like, I tried to hey pig, and he freaked the fuck out. I'm like, well, now you got to go. Like I tried to be cool.
Man,
I tried to be cool. I could have spared your life here, but you freaked out when I just tried to say hi. So you got to go.
Well, that's different. Yeah, that pig was asking for it clearly, but
yeah, I pictures of it freaking out on its leash.
Oh,
I literally was just like, "Hi, pig." I tried to be cool, and it just freaked the fuck out.
Well, who knows?
It knew.
It knew.
I'm like, I'm gonna end up in that guy's belly. In a couple hours.
Yeah. Was Cuba cool?
Oh yeah, I've been twice now.
Okay, yeah, I'd really like to go sometime.
You should go.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't think you could go from America, but like when I was in Miami recently,
you can only fly from Miami.
Yeah, boy, there's a ton of flights.
Oh, I know. When I went in 2017, I was on one of the first direct flights from the U.S. to Cuba. I went from JFK to Havana. The post-Trump administration, you can only fly directly from Miami International. And when I was down in Miami for Expos Miami last May, I'm like, well, most of the cost of this flight to Havana is to get to Miami. I'm already here for business.
Right.
I'm going to take the 45-minute flight to Cuba, and I did. I think I'm on a list in Cuba, though.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
Nothing. I did fucking nothing, but they stopped me when I tried to enter the country this time.
Oh, really?
So I'm there with a friend, and legally with the State Department, you're not allowed to go for tourism. So I'm there for journalism.
Mm-hmm. I'm
a journalist.
Sure. Yeah.
And when I hit immigration, asked my passport, took the step back, took my glasses off. They look at me, look at my passport, look at the screen, look at me, and they're like, hold on, and pass my passport off to a dude who just walks away with it.
Ooh.
He's like, wait over there. I'm like, okay. And then a couple minutes later, guy in plain clothes with a badge on, and the guy who had my passport started asking me a lot of questions. Like, you ever been here before? Why are you here? How much money do you have? And where are you staying? Like, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I had to keep up with what I told the state. I'm like, journalism, who do you work for? Myself. What do you mean? I'm like, I'm a podcaster. They eventually let me go, but there was a lot of like finagling and talking, and I don't speak fluent Spanish in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of broken English to broken Spanish and my poor friend, who has obviously never been to Cuba before, breezed through immigration. She's on the other side, and there is not internet in the wild in Cuba.
Yeah.
So she is just on the other side,
waiting,
trying to get on the airport free Wi-Fi, freaking out like, where's Matt? What is happening?
I mean, it could literally be the fact that you're like an American guy who has come to Cuba more than once.
Well, for sure. And like, I don't know if the State Department shares with the Cuban government our legal reason for being there.
Yeah.
So, and they, at the time when I was there last year, they were definitely having some protests and shit like that. So, return journalist.
Yeah. Yeah. Journalist who doesn't have any bylines or anything like that. They probably thought you were CIA, honestly.
Fattest CIA member around.
Oh, you don't know that.
They eventually let me through, but I talked my way through it. But it was just like, I'm a podcaster. I'm just going to take photos and I'm like, I'm here to, do street photography and talk about this on a podcast.
Yeah.
And they eventually let me through, but it was just like, it was kind of, getting singled out at customs, especially in Cuba, is not the best feeling in the world.
No, I understand that. I was just recently this is not at all close to the same story, but I was in St. Croix recently in the Virgin Islands, and coming back through Miami, we got stopped at customs, and we didn't even get stopped for that. We didn't get pulled aside, but they took maybe 6 or 7 minutes while we were just standing at the gate or at the passport booth, and the guy did like kind of turn around. And
you don't have global entry?
No, I guess not. But
$200 for 5 years. Buy it.
I should. No, I have the what do you call it? The
pre-check.
Pre-check.
It comes with global entry, so you don't have to pay for pre-checking it if you get global entry.
I'll have to do. I just I don't leave the country that much, but
$200 for 5 years.
I do think like for that, it's they're looking at you going, drug runners. Like you're coming into Miami, you were in St. Croix for 5 days, and it's like
I was in Havana for 4.
Yeah,
and I didn't bring cigars back because I was like, they're illegal to bring back now, and I'm just like, they're going to flag me for bringing back cigars. And I walked right through customs. I could have brought back cigars. Motherfucker. I had a couple in my humidor that were not Cubans.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm going to have to talk and be like, these are Nicaraguan. And no, my global entry ass just walked through. The customs agent yelled at me for keeping my glasses on in my global entry photo.
Yeah. And that was it.
That was it.
Are Cuban cigars really that much better? Yeah, that's what I thought.
The novelty.
Sure.
It's the novelty. And they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. They are the only expensive thing in Cuba, by the way.
Yeah.
I spent $50 US on 3 cigars.
That is expensive, though.
Oh, yeah. Especially when I think the most I spent for a lot of really good meals was like 20.
Yeah.
And that includes alcohol. We went to a Cuban jazz club last night in town. The cover was $2 US and included a drink.
Wow.
For live fucking Cuban jazz.
Was it awesome?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds awesome.
Both times I've been there, I've gone out for live jazz. Like, it's so much fun.
No, that sounds, I got to do that.
Yeah. It's like live Cuban jazz clubs. And you don't drink, but the one I was there in 2017, sorry. We went out to a Cuban jazz club and like bottle service for bottles of Jameson was retail for a bottle of Jameson.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Like, $25 for bottle service?
It's not a profit-based culture.
You got to figure the average Cuban makes 40 USD a month.
Yeah.
So a $25 bottle is a luxury item.
Well, for sure. Oh, but that sounds fun though. No, I knew that you could get there, but I didn't know it was as easy as it is now. So, or it is for now, because again, that's something that could very easily change in the near future.
100%, but it's a wild place. And as a working creative, I think I recommend it because there's much more internet now than there was in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still limited to internet like when you're at places. Like you will not have internet access when you're in transit.
That is, it's so weird that we live in this world where like we feel burdened by this technology. Like it is like what you're describing is, wouldn't it be nice if your phone didn't work for some period of the day?
It was one of the best parts about the 2017 trip. In those days, the only way to get on the internet was to buy Wi-Fi access, either stay at a resort or buy Wi-Fi access from the government and go to a government hotspot.
Uh-huh.
So I had 10 days of my phone just being a camera.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
You know, again, like when you read like what futurologists or whatever the word is would say about what the future was going to be like when they were writing like 1910, they're like, well, we're creating all these labor-saving devices, so everybody's going to work 2 hours a day. It's going to be amazing because why would you need more? And instead, we are all tethered to these devices. You know, in France, it's illegal to email your employee after work hours.
As it should be.
As it should be. Again, like the idea that we could use laws or regulations or any kind of non-violent government to make the world a better place. Any politician could win an election by saying, "I'm going to ban spam calls and spam texts," and it's going to be, if you buy a shirt from a company, they can email you once a month. They can't email you every day. Like the world, that's not unreasonable. Like those are the kind of laws that used to pass every day in countries like this. And now that is an unthinkable abridgment of some asshole's freedom. And we can't have it. And it ruins everything. And yeah, the idea that your boss can't email you or that you can't just even have access to like all of your dumb apps that you have to have access to.
It was just so great to be disconnected from social media because part of my job is promoting myself and doing social media. It was just freeing to not have to respond to DMs, not respond to texts, just off grid. This last trip, we had Wi-Fi at the Airbnb we were staying at, and we burned through the pre-purchased data on the Wi-Fi that we had there. The creator I was there with, she just started freaking out when we didn't have internet. I'm just like, oh, this is what I came here for.
Yeah.
We went out, for food and a handful of things, but we were staying out in a neighborhood and like would walk to bodegas and haggle with people. And I spent a lot of that trip just smoking cigars. And in the picture of the Airbnb, there was a hot tub, but the jets didn't work. And so it wasn't, when I got there, like, we have a pool. It was just a hot tub filled with water. But I spent so much of my days just reading comic books on my phone that I had downloaded before I got to Cuba, smoking cigars and drinking in a ambient temperature hot tub. It was amazing.
That sounds wonderful.
It was great.
I'll have to, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, sign me up. I'm down for that.
Yeah, it was just like, oh no, I am out doing street photography when we're out. I am experiencing the culture and all that, but I am just disconnected. I don't feel the need to have to update things on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. I mean, I was when we had Wi-Fi to a degree, but not to the same degree. I was actually a little bummed that we had internet access when I got there.
No, I believe that. I know it's not, because it sounds great. It's just like, I had a big breakthrough. I was having a hard time writing this new book, and it just wasn't working. And so I went to a copy place near my house, and I had them print out the book, like on paper. And then I said, I am not allowed to write while I'm on my laptop. That's data entry. Everything I need to do will either be on the pages of this book, or if I need to do bigger writing, I will write it in a notebook, and then I will data entry it into it. And it totally changed everything. It totally freed me. And you just go, oh, right, this was how they wrote books for like 3,000 years. And it worked really well. And the idea that our lives have gotten better or easier, or that books have gotten better with this technology, totally unproven.
No, just gotten different.
Just different. And I do think in some ways, for, everybody's brains are different. Word processors, Microsoft Word, stuff like that, makes it too easy for me to start really caring about, is this a colon or a semicolon? Where does this comma go?
Well, for me, when I attempted to write a couple times in my life, it's always been on word processor, but I also found myself rewriting the same scene over and over again, instead of just writing the whole thing and then going back into the passive. It's like, no, I can keep cleaning up the scene. I keep cleaning up and I feel like if it was finite and it was just like,
yes,
even with a typewriter, I wouldn't be like, well, I'm going to backspace. I can't backspace over that. I just have to keep writing it.
You have to keep going. And I don't believe in really writing rules, because the only real rule of writing is don't do it shitty, because you can always find exceptions to any rule you can come up with. But one that I really adhere to is, first you make it, then you make it good. Like, those are two separate steps. First you make it, and then you make it good. And I do still go back and I fiddle. And the first chapters of all my books are always way, 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 way more polished than everything after it. And that's just because it's very easy to do that. But it is really a thing that, like, you have to, like, conquer to get over. Very few, like, professional writers make every sentence perfect before moving on. Kurt Vonnegut did. The Kurt Vonnegut really, like, polished everything and then moved on. And
that takes fucking dedication.
Yes, it does. And his books were all very short. But, and again, that's what I mean. There's always an exception to any of these rules, but I do think for me, it really helps to get it down. I hand write drafts now, and it's really changed how I write. And again, you convince yourself that the easiest thing is the best thing, and it's oftentimes not. I think that's something we're learning over and over and over again in this world, is the convenient thing, the easy thing is not always the best thing.
Oh, sometimes they're actually detriments, because the dopamine hit from the slot machine-esque, social media is a bad thing for you.
It is. Your brain you get like fucked out in a very essential way. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of like the inability to, like, experience pleasures because you have just hit that stupid button in your head too many times. And again, these tiny little taps, it's not like some big euphoric rush. It's just like that little hook. And it's just, yeah.
Well, and then also, my phone has actively made me dumber. I used to know everyone's phone numbers. I know no one's phone numbers.
I've been with Megan for 10 years. She has never changed her phone number that entire time. I do not know her phone number. She knows mine. She'll pull it out sometimes just to prove to me she knows it. But I'm like, when do I need it? I never need it. It's here, so I don't need it. So I don't know. I still know, my childhood home phone number, but, like, I don't need that anymore.
Well, yeah, I remember my childhood phone number to this day. I remember one of my best friends from high school's phone numbers.
Yeah.
But I used to know everyone's phone number. Like, everyone I was friends with, like, just in my head, just knew it. Just fucking knew it. Nope. Long gone.
No, I don't drive anywhere in LA without turning my GPS on. which I always justify by saying, well, if it's going to tell me to do something really weird, I need to know it because that means there's something really fucked up. And it is good to know that. But also it makes it where I don't know where I'm going, places I've been a dozen times. And it's just a little thing. And God bless GPS, because LA, but pre-GPS was a wily beast for sure. But maybe it was more fun and more adventure and like.
Well, I feel like if you really knew the streets in those days, you really could zip around because everyone was on the major thoroughfares.
Yeah. I've started doing, this is such LA trivia here. I do turn on my GPS, but I tend to turn off the highways. I always check. I was like, how much time do I save by getting on highways? And if it's less than 5 minutes, which it usually is, by the way, usually only say 5 minutes on a freeway, I don't do it. I take surface streets because that's when you see the city, you know?
Oh, for sure. When I used to work in downtown LA, going from Hollywood, I always surface roaded it because taking the 101 into downtown was just always a crapshoot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh no, I would navigate these surface roads to Beverly until Beverly became first to Hill and then down to work.
Yes. Oh, I know that route. Yeah. No, it's, you just learn these things. And again, it's the easy answer isn't always the right answer. And especially with what I do, what I write about, I need to kind of be in the city streets. I walk around just taking notes. Basically what I do with my books is I make LA seem really crazy by taking everything that takes place in LA to me over the course of a year, and you squeeze it into a week, and it makes LA into this like crazy cyberpunk world. But really, this is there's crazy shit happening all the time.
Yeah, you just don't witness it.
Yeah. It's happening though. And like I said, I've been trying to go out and do things and see the city, because the first book I wrote set in LA, I kind of dumped 10 years worth of LA into it. And so I've had like 2 years trying to refill that tank. And so.
Well, but also I feel like LA in the last 2 years is way different than LA 10 years ago.
No, that's true too. And trying to catch up with, books are not really a great medium for talking about the now, because like I hope to turn in my book in 10 days so it can be published in March 2026. So trying to be like, this is the LA of right now is tough. On the other hand, it's all cyclical. So like I look like I've been doing a lot of press for Everybody Knows in Europe, because there's some European editions that have come out recently. And the first line of that novel is Los Angeles Burns, which makes me look this week like I'm a prophetic genius. And all these Spanish journalists are like, well, you saw the future. How did you do this? I think that was more of a French accent, but
your answer should have been, I started fires.
Well, that's a good one too. But I was just like, no, you don't understand. LA catches on fire every 5 years. This one was really bad, but like wildfires are part of living here. But like that's where I never worry about being current too much, because it all comes back. The Me Too shit comes back, the police violence comes back, the corruption.
Oh, the police violence never leaves.
Well, it never leaves. Yeah, and I wrote my new book has like a police riot in it where they beat the shit out of a bunch of protesters in MacArthur Park for like cleaning out homeless tents. And it's like that happened years ago, but it'll happen again. So
I thought it happened again fairly recently.
It probably did.
There's fences up. I'm pretty sure there's fences up around MacArthur Park these days.
It is wild around there. I don't know, like if you walk around there, it is the alley behind Yoshinoya Beef Bowl right by the park is like, that is it. It's a shooting gallery. It is hard.
Alvarado right there.
Yeah. That is hardcore.
Well, and I also heard recently that they cleaned up all the vendors on Alvarado.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, that's the identity of that street right there.
It absolutely is. And that's interesting. I need to go back around there, because I did right when I started the book, I went and sat down in MacArthur Park and I wrote down everything I saw, because I try and do that a lot with my books, but I haven't been there in a while, and I need.
You definitely have to go to Langer's while you're there.
Oh, I try. I love Langer's. That is man, I love LA food. It's just Langer's is not like a real exemplar of what we do, because it's sort of the only place I would go get a pastrami sandwich in LA. But
I go to Canner's.
Yeah, Canner's you go for the attitude, I think, and the vibe, less than the food.
Well, I also go to Canner's because they don't close, and
oh yeah.
The dining room's not open 24 hours on weeknights. It's only the deli counter 24 hours. But I will definitely pop in there at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, get a Canner's, Fairfax, and bounce.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
It's like, my options. One of the things that, on a complete tangent, always bothered me about this city is the lack of late night food. Coming from Chicago,
yeah,
like the choices for late night food in Chicago is phenomenal. There was a 24-hour shawarma spot that I used to hit all the time before I left town. The amount of like just Americana diners that are open 24/7 in Chicago, or even you go into the hood and Maxwell Street Polish is open 24/7. Fucking piles of fucking Polish sausages on a grill that you order through a window, a block off the highway in the hood.
Nice.
Like coming to LA, it's just like the 24-hour eats is just shit, and it's gotten so much worse post-pandemic.
I'm sure. I mean, the only places I really know is Koreatown. Like, yeah.
There's some spots in Koreatown. There's Canner's, but Canner's, like, their dining room used to be 24/7. Now it's just the deli counter.
Yeah.
There's Crispy Pork Gang here in Thai Town.
Oh, yeah, and that place is not bad.
I mean, it's open.
Yeah.
Of all the Thai places in Thai Town,
it's the open one?
It's the open one.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not bad, but it's...
No, it's not Pa Ord, though. It's not a Northern Thai food club. I mean, there's really great food there. But
it's not Chitlada.
Yeah.
But it's open.
Yes. No, you're right. I've always said, like, LA is a weirdly late rising and also early to bed city. Like, it is not, because it's a weird place to try and go get breakfast if you're an early riser, because it's not a place that opens up at 5 a.m. to go get breakfast.
Except for the weird, I mean, not for food, but the weird 6 a.m. opening bars like the Drawing Room.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's for night shift workers.
California law says you can't serve alcohol between 2 and 6 a.m.
Oh, so
they open at 6. They reopen at 6. Like, I've had some nights where I've closed another bar, ended up at a diner, like chilled for a little bit, and then gone back to Drawing Room to keep drinking at 6 a.m.
Whew. That's a life choice, man.
I make them occasionally.
I'm proud of you because I don't anymore, and I do.
I haven't done it in years. Years. I'll preface of like those were very, very much choices years ago, but they've been made.
I used to live in St. Louis, and the version of that in St. Louis is the bars go till 2 a.m. And if you're still going at 2 a.m, you go across the river into East St. Louis. And you just you're driving across the Mississippi River, and you're drunk. Let's be honest. You're not sober because you're not making that drive sober. So you're drunk driving across the Mississippi going, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. And then I don't know what they have now. It's been years since I've been there, but it's strip clubs and one rock and roll bar. And when I was there, the rock and roll bar had not closed its doors ever for 25 years. And it had been open continuously for 25 hours. But boy, if you found yourself in East St. Louis or Sauget or any of those towns on the other side of the river, you had made a choice because you would cross. The Mississippi River is big.
Oh, yeah. Mighty Mississippi.
Mighty Mississippi. And you made the choice to drive across that while drunk because you couldn't go home at 2 a.m. Good times, though.
Oh, yeah.
I had some good times.
Midwestern drinking's a thing.
It's an endurance sport in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I learned horrible habits, It's also, again, drunk driving, for all the chastising that happened about it, it was very normal.
Oh, yeah. No, I used to joke that in Chicago, the only way to get a DUI was to hit something.
Yes. I
was talking to a buddy of mine who is a Chicago cop. He's like, the body cams have changed all that.
Oh, I bet.
He's like, these days, if I roll someone for, and I don't think they're going to be a problem for anyone, I'm like, are you diabetic?
Mm-hmm.
Or is your blood sugar low? He's trying to give them every excuse to get out. I'm just, man, yeah. Before body cams, Chicago coppers, unless you hit something, literally would not give you a DUI. One of my buddies famously passed out in an intersection, making the left-hand turn, got rolled by the cops, and how far do you have to go to get home? And they followed him home. That's protect and serve.
That is protect and serve. You got to hand them that one. You got the rare W there, but that's pretty good. No, and again, it was all very normal, and again, that's where I taking that drinking attitude and then moving to New York City is when my drinking exploded, because the thing about New York is it doesn't close. So if you have the endurance built up, you just get into fucking trouble, and I got into just not bad trouble, just it was just not healthy at all because I just could go really long, and then 8 o'clock go to a diner, and that was it. That was the only thing that would stop you was hunger.
Yeah, Chicago was much of the same.
Yeah,
and part of the reason I'm happy I left was I would have drank myself to death by now.
Oh yeah, no, I know that I would have too. It was just, I don't miss it really, but I do miss the randomness that it introduces into life. The tables, I don't wind up at a table full of strangers very often anymore. I do miss that element, and and that's too bad. But yeah, my health is much better, and my life changed noticeably. Like when I cleaned up, it was not done because like, oh, I think this would be good for me. It was a good move, and but I do miss, yeah, the excuse to eat biscuits and gravy. You know what I really miss? Being hungover in very specific ways. I like the permission it gave you as an adult to play sick.
You could just play sick,
Well, by the way, I do. I don't fake it, but I will. Like I'll tell you tomorrow. I haven't taken a day off on my book for 2 weeks or so. Like I've worked. I work all the time, and it's like, you know what? Tomorrow's a sick day, and I won't be under the covers, but I will probably go buy saltines, maybe some Gatorade. You
will not be the first guest who need recovery after a day of Now We Drink. You will not be the first or last guest who's like after this podcast being like, you know what? I didn't recover tomorrow.
Well, I have this one on the books, but I believe you about that. I
get those texts from people like, oh, I'm suffering today. I'm like, did to yourself.
That's right. You didn't make them. Look, I have to own my 2 zero sugar Shirley Temple 7-Ups, and especially since, like I said, this is a finite supply I'm drinking from here.
Well, I'm happy you broke out the good stuff. Jordan, I hate to do it. We got to call last call. We've been doing this almost 3 hours,
No. Jesus Christ.
Actually, we've been doing over 3 hours.
Okay, well, let's call it.
I have to edit this, so.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So let's call last call on this motherfucker. Before we get you out of here, where can they find you on things? Where can they find your projects?
Yeah, you can find me. I am still on Twitter, X, the everything app, but not very much. You can find me on Blue Sky. I really just think the best thing to do is to find my books. She Rides Shotgun, Last King of California. Everybody knows. Should have a new one out next year. And, because those are the things that are really important to me. And I work really hard on them. So people should, even if you get it from the library, that's okay. You can do that. I'd like it if you bought it, but,
Well, if a lot of people check out from the library, they'll have to stock more in the library.
That's true. I mean it. You buy it used. Again, it's, whatever works. Again, my motto in life, I've said it more than once on this podcast, is I am not a cop. And so everybody can find me, read my books, and have a good time.
Hell yeah. Until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.